Chapter 341. He Xiong fell into deep thought as he listened to the ZH1 members. Indeed, there was such a rule. On the day of the competition, all the contestants had to be confirmed. Hence, there was no way to replace them. Actually, I have something to say. He Xiong contemplated for a moment before he glanced at God Z and the ZH1 members. Uncle He Xiong, just speak your mind. ZH1's Mumu grinned. Well, Lin Yen is just an ordinary navigator. She only knows the theory of racing. If we allow her to compete, I'm afraid that she will make a fool of herself. Although she is Mingkai's cousin, we don't have to be bothered by her unreasonable behavior, He Xiong replied. He Xiong assumed that ZH1 had replaced Zhang Yun because Lin Yen was Mingkai's cousin. The ZH1 members glanced at each other when they heard He Xiong. Where did He Xiong get his confidence from? His son's racing skills might be considered good in a low-level racing team, but in a mid-level team, he wouldn't even have the qualifications to be a substitute member, let alone a top team like this. Everyone, the competition is about to begin. Thank you for your hard work. Godzi glanced at He Xiong, He Mingkai, and the rest of the He family team with a smile. Godzi didn't say anything else as he led the ZH1 team members away. F***CK. Look. After Godzi led the ZH1 team members away, one of the He family team's navigators glanced at a group of people who had just entered the venue. They look familiar. Qingli muttered softly. Wait, they look familiar. Aren't they from the Speed Squad? One of the racers from the He family team exclaimed in disbelief. What? Speed Air. Air Commander's team, Speed. Air Commander, the player who competed against Lang Mang in the second level of the international tournament? That's right. That's him. He Xiong looked at He Mingkai, who was beside him. Mingkai, did you see how sensational this match is? Even the entire Speed team is here. Mingkai, this is your chance. Qingli said seriously, even a team as powerful as Speed has personally come to watch this match. As soon as Qingli finished speaking, the members of WW immediately went up to welcome them. Welcome, Speed, one of the WW members immediately apologized. Speed's captain, Air Commander, was quite famous in the international racing circle. Please wait a moment, I'll call our captain over, a WW member said excitedly. No need. Suddenly, a handsome man in a white casual shirt glanced at the WW team and said coldly, We're not here to look at you. Hearing Air Commander's words, the WW team members were astonished. This match was between WW and the He family. If Speed wasn't here for WW, then, we are here for the He family team. You guys can go back to work, one of the Speed members said impatiently. In their eyes, WW, a top Chinese powerhouse team, was nothing. This time, Speed's purpose was clear. There was only one reason. They were here to watch the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva. Recently, Air Commander had found out all about her. She was the granddaughter of the He family team's boss, He Dingkuan. Chapter 342. The members of Speed, including Air Commander, had never imagined that the reigning champion of the first level, the racetrack's Grim Reaper, would be the granddaughter of the boss of a low-class team in China. It was unbelievable that a small team like the He family team could produce a legend like Yeva. I can't believe that we actually raced against Yeva. Oh my God. Even if we lost, it was a great honor. One of the Speed members exclaimed excitedly. Shoo. Keep your voice down. Don't let anyone hear you. Yeva has never shown her face before. If you hear this, you will be killed by her. Miss Yeva is so pretty. How could she be such a cruel person? You're too naive. The racetrack's Grim Reaper? Where did she get her nickname? Song Yaonan and the others were almost beaten to death by Yeva. That's true. The racetrack's Grim Reaper is famous for her bad temper among the top racers in the first level of the international competition. I heard that her personality is just like her driving style. The members of the He family stared at He Mingkai in disbelief. Qingli, the navigator, said, Air Commander, the captain of Speed, said that they came personally to watch the competition not because of WW, but because of the He family team. Because of the He family? One of the racers' eyes landed on He Dinkuan. He Dinkuan looked puzzled as well. He had never had any dealings with a legendary team like Speed. He didn't even know the members of Speed or the captain, Air Commander. He had only watched Speed's competitions on videos. Why would Speed come to Ningnan Arena because of the He family team? I don't know the captain or the members of Speed. I don't have any dealings with them, He Dinkuan replied confidently. Hearing this, Qingli fell into deep thought. Soon after, his gaze fell on He Mingkai. In that case, Speed must be here because of Mingkai. Could it be that Speed has noticed Mingkai and thinks that he has great potential? As Qingli's voice fell, He Xiong nodded repeatedly and said, That's right, that must be it. He Xiong turned to He Dinkuan with excitement. Dad, Speed must be here because of Mingkai. He Dinkuan shook his head and chuckled. Mingkai might be good, but it's a miracle that ZH1 is interested in him. It's impossible for a legendary team like Speed to do so. Impossible? Grandpa, why not? Even the captain of Speed, Air Commander, said that they are here for the He family team. Grandpa, you don't even know them. My driving skills are the best in the He family team. If they aren't here for me, who else could they be here for? He Mingkai frowned. Dad, Mingkai is right. None of us have anything to do with Speed. They must be here for Mingkai. Although Mingkai's skills aren't at the top level yet, he has great potential. A legendary team like theirs loves to look for young racers with potential, He Xiong said. He Dinkuan turned to He. He wanted to, but He Master, He Xiong, Master, wanted, Commander, and wanted to say. This was strange. Based on Mingkai's skills, it was impossible for a legendary team like Speed to pick him. Even if He Mingkai had potential, the entire Speed team wouldn't have come personally. Was he really getting old and unable to see He Mingkai's potential? Chapter 343. Before long, Air Commander led the Speed team to where the He family team was. Air Commander grinned at the excited He family members. You guys are the He family team. It's an honor to meet you. You managed to groom Y. Oh, it's fine. We are just here to watch. We really like one of your racers. I hope we didn't disturb you. Upon hearing Air Commander's words, He Xiong immediately stepped forward. Not at all. It's our honor to have Speed here to cheer for our Mingkai. Air Commander and the rest of the Speed team were taken aback. Mingkai? He was the racer of the He family team, He Dinkuan's grandson, and Yeva's cousin. I'm rooting for you guys. Good luck. Air Commander chuckled awkwardly. However, they were Yeva's family members, so he couldn't comment further. After Air Commander led Speed's members to the VIP seats, Qingli smirked. What do you think? Did I get it right? Speed is here for Mingkai. He Xiong glanced at He Dinkuan excitedly. Dad, did you see that? Old Master He Dinkuan was puzzled. That shouldn't be the case. Was He Mingkai's potential really that great? Even Speed was there to watch him. Was he really getting old? Was he too old to keep up with the times? Soon, WW and the He family team entered their respective arenas. Their cars were already on the track, and the competition was about to begin. He Xiong glared at Lin Yen coldly. Lin Yen, if you affect Mingkai's performance, you will have to bear the consequences. Miss Lin Yan, you have to know that ZH1 has taken a liking to Ming Kai. Besides, Speed's Air Force and team members are all here. Miss Lin Yan, you might not know about Speed, but I still hope that you won't race. You can say that you're not feeling well and apply to leave. That way, we can let Zhang Yun race again. Lin Yan glanced at Qingli expressionlessly and said, "Scram." Everyone in the He family team was taken aback. How could Lin Yan tell Qingli to scram? Did she know who she was talking to? He was the best navigator of the He family team. Even He Dinkuan had to give Qingli some face. What, did you say? Qingli's eyes gleamed coldly as he stared at Lin Yan. What did this woman think she was? Lin Yan. How dare you speak to me like that? He Xiong bellowed at Lin Yan. Lin Yan yawned and put on her helmet. She didn't even glance at He Xiong and the others. She turned around and left the venue. She was the first to enter the racetrack. She opened the door and sat down. This bastard. The veins on He Xiong's forehead bulged as he watched Lin Yan enter the track. Dad, who does she think she is? Without me, would she have been able to meet the ZH1 team, the Speed team, and so many important people? She's just like her mother, an ingrate. He Ming Kai said coldly. Forget it. Qingli glanced at He Xiong. Uncle Xiong, this race is very important. Let's just pretend that she doesn't exist. However, I hope that this woman will never have anything to do with the He family team again. I feel that she will bring harm to Ming Kai and the He family team. That wretched girl. He Xiong hissed coldly. The old master has spoiled her too much. After this race, I will make her pay. Don't forget to get double the monthly votes. Pick 5 people from the comments and get a canvas bag. You just have to record the monthly votes this month. Chapter 344. At the VIP area of Ningnan Arena, Wei Shufeng stared at the group of people seated in the distance, looking slightly surprised. He nudged Qi Xiaoyuan with the back of his hand. Hey, is that the Air Force team? Qi Xiaoyuan turned to look at them and nodded. It's Speed. Indeed, it's the Air Force team. Wei Shufeng's expression turned odd. If it's WW against ZH1, I could understand. However, why would Speed come to watch the competition between WW and the He family team? I've never heard of Speed interacting with WW or ZH1. They are on a completely different level. Qi Xiaoyuan found it odd that a team like Speed would come to Ningnan Arena to watch the competition. Logically speaking, he was the only one who knew about Boss's identity. Speed shouldn't have known that Lin Yan was Yeva. In that case, why would they come? Oh yeah. Wei Shufeng's eyes trailed to Qi Xiaoyuan. Have you heard about Boss? What happened to Boss? Qi Xiaoyuan asked unconsciously. Boss has retired. I think she retired due to her injury. Wei Shufeng sighed heavily, looking a little disappointed. I heard about it, but I don't know the details, replied Qi Xiaoyuan. Back then, Lin Yan had been banned from competing overseas for taking illegal drugs. This news hadn't spread, and there had been many suspicions about it. Hence, it had been announced that Yeva had retired due to her injury. First of all, everyone had witnessed Yeva's abilities. Her nickname as the racetrack's Grim Reaper wasn't just for show. She had been invincible at the first level of the international competition and she had held many records. Given Yeva's abilities, it didn't make sense for her to take illegal drugs during a competition. Moreover, racing was different from other things. Illegal drugs wouldn't have the slightest bit of benefit to racing. Instead, it would cause the racers to perform abnormally, even leading to irreversible accidents. Any racer, as long as they were normal and had a normal mind, would never consume illegal drugs. However, Lin Yan hadn't given any explanation at the time. She had simply left the competition, looking dejected. In addition, several large corporations hated Yeva and her racing team to the core. Those consortiums all had the world's top racing teams under their banner. Unfortunately, Yeva had dominated the first level of the international competition, which made them hate her. Hence, Lin Yan had no choice but to leave quietly. After all, racing was considered a competitive event, and it wasn't advisable to use illegal drugs. Although the various consortiums used this incident to pressure Yeva and the team behind her, they also knew that the news of Yeva consuming illegal drugs wouldn't stand. Given Yeva's influence and skills, no one would believe that she would consume illegal drugs in the first level of the competition. Hence, they tacitly agreed that Yeva had retired due to her injuries. Recently, news of Yeva's situation had started to spread. The public only knew that Yeva had been injured and couldn't race for the time being. Hence, she had retired temporarily. As for where she was recuperating and whether she had plans to return to the racing track, there was no news. No one knew. No one would have expected that Yeva, who had once dominated the first level of the international competition, would be competing in the Ningnan arena for a small team like the He family team. Chapter 345. Air Commander stared at the silver car at the starting line and muttered under his breath, "This is unbelievable. Didn't the racetrack's Grim Reaper, Yeva, retire because of her injuries? Captain, even if Yeva is injured, she can still defeat a team like WW with her eyes closed. The difference is too great. They are worlds apart," one of the speed team members said. "Let alone beating WW with his eyes closed, even beating the captain with his eyes closed should be a piece of cake," another member said. He did not forget to sneak a glance at Air Commander beside him after he finished speaking. Air Commander didn't retort. After all, this was the truth. Even if Yeva had retired because of her injuries, she would still be able to beat him on the track. In the preparation area, the He family team was ready. The He family team hadn't come up with any strategy for this race, as the disparity between them and WW was too great. Any strategy would be useless against a team like WW. Instead, it would be a joke. Hence, it was better to let the members do whatever they wanted. "Mingkai, be bold. This race will be the turning point of your racing career." Qing Li, who was standing beside him, glanced at He Mingkai. "We definitely don't stand a chance of winning this race, but that's not important anymore. ZH1 values you so much. At the very least, you can become a member of ZH1. Air Commander is here today, which proves that you have great potential. I believe that Speed is interested in you. After this race, Speed will invite you to join their team," Qing Li added. Hearing this, He Xiong nodded and looked at He Mingkai. "Mingkai, do your best. WW is nothing. Don't be intimidated by their reputation. Qing Li is right. If you can enter the speed battle team, it will be enough to prove your potential. In the future, you will leave WW in the dust." "Dad, I understand," He Mingkai said proudly. "Mingkai, regardless of whether you choose ZH1 or Speed, I will be by your side. I will help you dig out more of your potential. This race is all up to you." The corners of Qing Li's mouth curled up. "The race is about to start. Get on the track." The old master, He Dingkuan, strode over to them. The members of the He family team nodded and walked towards the starting point. All the members of WW were ready to board their cars. The He family team members opened their car doors and got into the driver's seats as well. The race was about to begin, and the crowd fell silent. As the signal flag was waved, there was a buzzing sound, and a dozen cars instantly rushed forward. However, there was only one silver car left at the starting point. "Is that the He family team's car? Isn't it going? What's going on?" Seeing this, the crowd in the arena could not understand. This kind of thing had never happened before. Old Master Hidinkun and He Xiong stood in the stands, their eyes fixed on the silver car that had yet to make a move. "Dad, is this your granddaughter? She's a disgrace to the He family team." He Xiong sneered coldly. "Forget it. Let Yen be. She doesn't know how to drive anyway. It's safer this way," Hidinkun said. "Dad, you should be glad that you have a grandson like Mingkai," He Xiong said. Chapter 346. What's going on? Air Commander, who was seated in the VIP area, stared at the silver car as he mumbled to himself. This wasn't Yeva's style. Air Commander had studied Yeva's racing style thoroughly. However, he couldn't understand what was happening this time. "Captain, did she deliberately go easy on them?" A speed member piped up suddenly. Hearing this, Air Commander was stunned. "Going easy on them? Captain, look at Yeva's level and WW's level. If I were Yeva, I wouldn't be interested in competing against a team like WW. If she didn't go easy on them, why would she even race? It would be too boring." Meanwhile, in the silver car, F*CK. Where is the death mode? Lin Yen cocked her head to the side as she stared intently at the dashboard. ZH1 had provided her with these cars, so she hadn't been familiar with them. "Found it." Lin Yen grinned and tapped on the dashboard. The next second, the silver racing car let out a roar that sounded like a wild beast. Lin Yen pulled the handbrake and stomped on the accelerator with her right foot. In an instant, the beast-like sound waves became even louder. The two rear wheels spun wildly, but the car remained stationary. God Z looked at the silver car with a deep frown. "She has turned off all the auxiliary systems, no way." What was Miss Lin Yen thinking? She couldn't have done that. Mumu replied, "I believe in Miss Lin Yen. I believe that Speed has witnessed her driving skills." Everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they heard Mumu. Indeed, they had witnessed Lin Yan's driving skills with their own eyes. Whoosh! As soon as Mumu finished speaking, Lin Yan's silver car transformed into a streak of silver light that sped forward at a breakneck speed. At this moment, the He family team was on the track. A sense of hopelessness welled up in everyone's hearts. They hadn't thought much of it before, but now that they had raced against WW, they realized that WW's control was terrifying. It was far beyond what they could handle. The He family team was like a newborn baby, while the WW team was like an adult. There was no comparison at all. Any one of WW's racers could crush them easily. How could they be so strong? He Mingkai gritted his teeth. No matter how hard he tried, he couldn't catch up with WW's car. He couldn't even catch up to them. The commentator said, "All right, we finally see the He family team's silver car moving. If I'm not wrong, this racer isn't very familiar with the car. Haha. I can tell that he hasn't done his homework. He actually turned off all the auxiliary systems. We have to know that it's meaningless to turn off all the auxiliary systems at the start of the race. Instead, it would be dangerous for him to control the car. Of course, the He family racer's car is indeed very fast after turning off all the auxiliary systems. However, there is a sharp turn ahead, so he had better turn on the auxiliary systems immediately." As the commentator's voice trailed off, the silver racing car finally returned to the public's line of sight. About 400 to 500 meters ahead, the first sharp turn on the track greeted them. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 347. The commentator said, the He family racer didn't activate any assistance system after about 300 meters. I believe that she is the only racer in the He family team who is very smart. Even so, how is she going to make such a sharp turn without any assistance system? As the commentator finished speaking, everyone watched as Lin Yan's silver car made a sharp turn and swayed rapidly. Since there wasn't any vehicle assistance system, the silver car swayed even more violently. Just then, the silver car sped up. The front right wheel of the car actually brushed past the curve of the road. The curve was very short, so the silver car was still drifting and out of control. Coincidentally, one of the racers from the He family team was in front of it. F***CK. The He family racer instinctively glanced at the rearview mirror as he heard the roar of a beast. He watched as Lin Yan's car swerved to the left, using his car as a stepping stone. After overtaking the He family racer's car, Lin Yan made a sharp turn and steadied the car. Then, she disappeared in the blink of an eye. The commentator said, "Beautiful. Her maneuvering was so beautiful. The He family team is indeed capable." Even after turning off all the assistance system, she still managed to make a sharp turn. She even used her teammate's car as a stepping stone and drifted past him. Nice. This must be a lie. Is that Lin Yan? The He family racer, who had been overtaken by Lin Yan, was stunned. Lin Yan had turned off the assistance system, so her car was traveling at a much faster speed. In the blink of an eye, she had overtaken all the He family racers. He Minkai's car was right in front of Lin Yan. How did she catch up? He Minkai was startled when he saw Lin Yan's silver car in the rearview mirror. Instinctively, He Minkai positioned his car in front of the silver car so that Lin Yan wouldn't overtake him. "You're in the way." Lin Yan was expressionless as she forced He Minkai's car to move away. After overtaking him, Lin Yan's car deliberately slammed on the brakes. Seeing this, He Minkai's expression changed drastically. He quickly stepped on the brakes, but even so, the car still rammed into the back of the silver racing car. A second later, Lin Yan grinned and stepped on the accelerator. She disappeared without a trace. Bastard! At that moment, He Minkai's car came to a stop, and he broke out in a cold sweat. That damned woman was deliberately toying with him. Impossible. How is this possible? He Minkai couldn't believe his eyes. How could Lin Yan know how to race? How could she surpass him in such a short time? At this moment, the silver car was in berserk mode, chasing after WW's car. Oh my god, is this woman crazy? Don't block her. She's turned off all support modes. She'll really crash into us. One of the WW team members was pale, and his forehead was covered in cold sweat. If he hadn't dodged in time, he would have perished together with the silver car. Chapter 348. How could there be such a person? That's impossible. The He family team doesn't have this kind of standard. She had given up on all the auxiliary systems and charged recklessly on the track. She had disregarded all the other cars. Even though the car in front had deliberately blocked her, she had stepped on the accelerator without any hesitation. There were only two possibilities. The first possibility was that this woman was a lunatic. She wasn't here to race. She was here to commit suicide. The second was that this woman was completely confident. Even so, at the last moment, she was still able to handle all possible situations perfectly. However, the WW team members didn't want to gamble. They were here to compete, not to perish together with someone else. If they didn't give way, and if they really collided with it, with such an impact, the car would be destroyed and people would die. There was no such thing as luck. Oh. WW's captain glanced at the silver car in the rearview mirror. There were many obstacles on the track, and it wasn't a straight line. As long as the obstacles were handled perfectly, the car in front would close the gap in an instant. That was unless the two racers' cars were on the same level, or even if the racer's skills were on the same level. That was the only way to keep the distance. However, that wasn't the case. The silver car was right behind them. The last track was extremely narrow, so there was no space for them to overtake. There was also no buffer zone. Logically speaking, they wouldn't be overtaken. If you want to overtake me, come and try. WW's captain grinned as he entered the narrow track. Lin Yan, who was deep in thought, steered to the left the moment the car in front entered the narrow track. There was a steep slope at the edge of the track. What is she trying to do? Out of the field, God Z was shocked. Wasn't this going to leave the track? Once she left the track, she would be eliminated immediately. Without giving anyone a chance to think, the silver car sped up the steep slope without any buffer zone. The moment it entered the steep slope, it sped up again. Whoosh! A second later, everyone watched in disbelief as the silver car sped across the slope. The entire car flew into the air and Lin Yan swerved to the right as it left the slope. The silver car, which had been about to leave the track, miraculously returned to the track. Bang! There was a loud noise. The silver car landed right in front of WW's captain's car. What? At that moment, the members of the TWW team stared at the silver car that had landed in front of them, their pupils constricting. He had been looking at the rearview mirror the entire time, so he had seen everything that had happened to the silver racing car. At this moment, Shuangwan's captain's mind was blank. He could only watch as the silver vehicle rushed into the center of the map. He had no way to turn the situation around or stop it. Everything happened too fast and too unexpected. Liar, liar, liar. Everyone in the He family team was dumbfounded. Even the old man, He Dinkuan, was dumbfounded. Ever since Lin Yan's silver car had overtaken He Mingkai, they had felt that something was amiss. Lin Yan's silver car was simply a show. Chapter 349. The navigators of the He family team were stunned. Was that really Lin Yan's car? Putting everything else aside, just the way he overtook WW's captain in the end could only be described as breathtaking. It was simply too amazing. How was this a race? This was clearly a performance. How could this be, how could this be possible? He Xiong stared at Lin Yan, who had opened the car door absent-mindedly and stepped out of the driver's seat. When He Xiong was young, he was also a racer. He had raced on many tracks and met many racers, but he had never seen such driving skills. Not far away, the smile on Qing Li's face had long since frozen. Did she open it? Could there be someone else in the car? One of the navigators asked with a face full of suspicion. I think there's something strange going on. How could there be such driving skills? It's more like some kind of performance. Another navigator sitting beside Qing Li said anxiously. Are you an idiot? Zhang Yun, who had been replaced, glared at the navigators. Are you guys stupid or is WW stupid? How could they cheat in such a competition? Lin Yan was the only one in the car. As Zhang Yun's voice fell, the two navigators were speechless. She replaced me. Now I have nothing to say. She single-handedly won the entire WW. Zhang Yun stared at the silver car on the track, his face full of shock. He Dinkuan stood in the distance, unable to recover from the shock. Impossible. How could she be so strong? She's just a navigator. How could she surpass Mingkai? He Xiong's expression was ugly. She didn't overtake Mingkai. She overtook all the racers on the track while she was on the show. At this moment, Air Commander slowly walked over. Air Commander turned to He Dinkuan and chuckled. Senior He, your granddaughter is really amazing. I can tell that you were an outstanding racer when you were young. He Dinkuan snapped out of his daze. Oh. Air Force God, you're too kind. Suddenly, He Xiong said, that's impossible. There must be a problem, or it's just luck. Luck? One of the speed members frowned as he glanced at He Xiong and the others. I'm afraid you have some misunderstanding about why. Miss Lin Yen. This is totally within our expectations. We came here to watch Miss Lin compete. How could it be luck? What did you say? He Xiong was stunned. Didn't you come for Mingkai? Qingli frowned and looked at Air Commander and the others. Mingkai? One of the team members was slightly stunned. Who is Mingkai? Oh, he's Miss Lin's cousin. He's also an ordinary racer from the He family team, explained another racer. Hearing this, He Xiong and Qingli couldn't believe it. They didn't even know who He Mingkai was? And an ordinary racer from the He family team? How could he be ordinary? Lin Yen removed her helmet and walked to the He family team. The ZH1 team members followed him excitedly. Everyone from Speed, it's been a long time. God Z glanced at Air Commander and the others. Yeah, it's been a long time since we lost to Miss Lin Yen. Miss Lin Yen sent all of us out of the racetrack on her own. This time, she sent WW out of the racetrack on her own. However, WW is only slightly stronger than their captain. One of the Speed members chuckled. As the man finished speaking, Qingli, He Xiong, and the others were completely dumbfounded. Lin Yen had sent Speed out of the racetrack with her own hands? End of update. This chapter will continue to draw canvas bags for my baby. I will announce the list of 50 canvas bags during the period of the double monthly ticket event on October 7th. Mobile users, please browse and read. A better reading experience is coming from LoveNet. Chapter 350. All the members of the He family team were in a daze. The navigators of the He family team couldn't believe their eyes. They had personally sent Speed out of the racetrack. Furthermore, Lin Yen had done it alone. How could such a thing have happened? However, why would a team as powerful as Speed have to lie? What was their motive? Besides, they had witnessed with their own eyes that Lin Yen had sent WW out of the racetrack. The members of the He family team glanced at each other. Did this mean that Lin Yen had possessed top-notch racing skills right from the start? Now that they thought about it, the elimination race with Old Tang's team wasn't a coincidence. Not only was Lin Yen a top-notch racer, but she was also a top-notch navigator. The funny thing was that they had mocked and ridiculed Lin Yen. They had even suggested that Lin Yen should become Qing Li's disciple. Before long, a few of the He family racers turned to look at Qingli. Thinking back to what Qingli had said before, it was truly laughable. What had he said? That Lin Yan's piloting skills were average. That she had won because of luck? Qingli was indeed the best navigator in the He family team. However, the He family team was just a small team, so Qingli was at most an intermediate navigator. How dare he mock and ridicule a top-notch racer and navigator? He had even led them into a ditch. Many members of the He family team finally understood why Lin Yen hadn't retorted in the face of all the mockery and ridicule. If they had been in Lin Yan's shoes, they wouldn't have bothered to explain themselves if they had met a rookie. Because, they wouldn't have bothered. He was disdainful, so he wouldn't bother to explain anything. The difference between them was too great, so they wouldn't have bothered to explain themselves. In Lin Yan's eyes, all of them were insignificant ants that weren't even worth mentioning. Many of the racers who had mocked and ridiculed Lin Yan before were flushed with embarrassment. They wished they could dig a hole and hide in it. Lin Yan, how dare you set me up on the track? He Mingkai strode over and glared at Lin Yan. Grandfather, Dad, if it hadn't been for her, I wouldn't have gotten this result. She deliberately set me up so that I would lose face in front of ZH1 and Speed. Hearing this, Xiong clenched his teeth, as if he wanted to say something, but in the end, not a single word came out. F***CK. ZH1 and Speed are here because of me. Without me, you wouldn't have been able to participate in this competition. Where did you learn your driving skills? How dare you trick me on the track? You ingrate. He Mingkai was furious. My friend. Suddenly, Air Commander's eyes landed on He Mingkai. I think you have misunderstood something. Speed is here to cheer for Miss Lin Yen. As for you. I'm sorry, we really don't know each other. My words might sound harsh, but please don't take it to heart. Chapter 351. Speed and ZH1 could tell that He Mingkai and Lin Yen didn't have a good relationship. They might even be enemies. In that case, there was no need for them to give He Mingkai and his team any face on Lin Yan's account. He Mingkai, with your driving skills, you might not be able to beat any regular team member. Who taught you and your father that you are so strong? One of the ZH1 racers glanced at He Mingkai and He Xiong. Oh yeah, that navigator of yours is called Qingli. He can't even remember the basic rules, yet he wants Miss Lin Yen to be his disciple? This must be the funniest joke I've ever heard in my life. That's right. Miss Lin Yen defeated all the members of Speed, yet she still wants to be his disciple? Has she been sitting in a well for too long that she doesn't know what the sky looks like? Qing Li's face darkened when he heard this, but he couldn't utter a single word. Lin Yen. Her. Beat Speed? He Mingkai gasped in disbelief. That's impossible. That's impossible. Something must have gone wrong. How could she beat me? Air Commander's eyes trailed to Lin Yen as he chuckled softly. Miss Lin Yen. Can we exchange contact details? I have some racing techniques that I would like to learn from you, me. Lin Yen glanced at Air Commander and grinned. Air Commander, my piloting skills are superficial. It was pure luck that I won against Speed and WW. Air Commander hastily replied, Miss Lin, you're too humble. What kind of joke was this? Did he think that he didn't know that she was the racetrack's Grim Reaper? I'm telling the truth. Lin Yen inhaled deeply and rejected him patiently. Speaking of which, isn't Air Commander's attitude towards me a little too strange? Even if she had won against them, he wouldn't have been so polite. After all, racers were prideful. Even if they had lost, they wouldn't have admitted defeat. Everyone in the He family team stared at Lin Yen in shock. Air Commander wanted to exchange contact details with Lin Yen, but Lin Yen had rejected him. Miss Lin, don't be like this. Just keep it. I promise not to disturb you. Really? Air Commander continued to pester him. It was the racetrack's Grim Reaper. He had to get it. He had to take advantage of the fact that Yeva was Lin Yen right now. Otherwise, when she resumed her identity as the racetrack's Grim Reaper, it would be extremely difficult for him to meet her, let alone contact her. Lin Yen was rendered speechless by Air Commander's pestering. In the end, she had no choice but to exchange contact information with him. Air Commander was satisfied when he received Lin Yan's contact. Alright, Miss Lin Yen. We won't disturb you today. We have something to attend to, so we'll make a move. After saying that, Air Force knew when to stop. Then, he led Speed and the others away. Captain, give me your contact number. Captain. I want it too. Lin Yen was speechless. The members of WW hadn't shown up yet, as though they were indignant. However, Lin Yen didn't care. This had nothing to do with her. Even if WW didn't show up, it didn't mean that they had won. Grandfather, I still have something to do, so I'll be leaving first. Lin Yan tossed her helmet and gloves aside and grinned at He Dinkuan. Before He Dinkuan could snap back to his senses, Lin Yan had already left, leaving the shocked He family members behind. Chapter 352. The ZH1 team was the most excited team right now. If they had competed against WW, they would have lost the competition and lost the right to enter the third level of the international competition. They would also have been ridiculed by the entire industry. WW's original intention had been to provoke them and take revenge. However, ZH1 had miraculously won the competition and entered the third level of the international competition. God Z had never been so thankful for his decision. He had been so wise. God Z glanced at He Dinkuan and said gratefully, "Old Master He, we will remember this favor. Please thank Miss Lin Yan on my behalf." He Dinkuan, who was still in shock, replied hastily, "You're too kind. Actually, the He family team hadn't helped at all. It was all Xiaoyan's fault." God Z sighed heavily and replied regretfully, "I had wanted to invite Miss Lin Yan to join ZH1, but she rejected me. I was puzzled at the time, but I soon realized that she was your granddaughter. No wonder she insisted on staying and helping the He family team." The members of the He family team glanced at each other awkwardly. Lin Yan had rejected God Z's invitation and joined the He family team, yet they had treated her with such an attitude. They had even thought that it was He Mingkai's doing. If He Mingkai had been that capable, the He family team wouldn't have ended up in this state. They had been too narrow-minded and arrogant. Meanwhile, at the VIP seats, Qi Xiaoyuan stared at Wei Shufeng, who was flabbergasted. He waved his right hand in front of Wei Shufeng's eyes and grinned. "Brother, are you going to run?" A certain someone had posted on Weibo that if the He family team won, he would run naked, F***CKU. Wei Shufeng snapped back to his senses and glared at Qi Xiaoyuan. "Mr. Wei, I would like to interview you. I want to know how you are feeling right now." Qi Xiaoyuan chuckled softly as he sat beside Wei Shufeng. Wei Shufeng frowned as he tried to recall what had happened earlier. How could that be? How could Lin Yan be so good at racing? Could it be that she was a racing genius? Had she been practicing all this while? Or had she always been good at racing? No matter how good she was, there was no way she could beat a top team like WW. Was there something fishy going on? However, he had seen it with his own eyes. Lin Yan was indeed a good driver. Besides, she was the one who had driven the car. This couldn't be fake. Lin Yan. She doesn't look like she's competing. She looks like she's performing. Wei Shufeng muttered under his breath. Actually, any normal racer could achieve a good stage performance, but it was impossible to beat WW with a stage performance. Unless WW had deliberately allowed Lin Yan to win. However, it didn't seem realistic. Why would WW allow the He family team to win? Wei Shufeng, hurry up and fulfill your promise. You still need an autograph from me last time. Isn't that inappropriate? Qi Xiaoyuan grinned at Wei Shufeng. Wei Shufeng rolled his eyes at Qi Xiaoyuan. Scram. Meanwhile, Lin Yan had just left the preparation area. As she walked past the stands, she caught a glimpse of a familiar figure. Lin Yan staggered when she saw who it was. She was scared out of her wits. Holy shit. Pei Yucheng, I would like to emphasize that all of you, especially those who are students, shouldn't donate money just for the sake of the activities. We have many activities, including the building a building and book review. There are also many prizes, so it's easy to win prizes. Many of you have already won many prizes. P.S. A new month has begun. Let's double the monthly tickets. Our Rest of Life only has 4 months to ask for tickets this year, so I'm begging the fairies for more support. I'm going to continue writing. I'll try to write more today. Chapter 353. Why was Pei Yucheng here? Why was he sitting on the VIP seats? Lin Yan's brain seemed to have stopped working. To make matters worse, Pei Yucheng seemed to have spotted her as well. His eyes darted in her direction. Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground as Pei Yutong scampered over to her. Lin Yan pulled him over and whispered, "Why is your brother here? Did you tell him about the competition?" Pei Yutong scowled miserably. How could that be possible? I'm a tight-lipped person. I don't know how my brother found out. I was stunned when he suddenly appeared. Why didn't you tell me earlier? You were about to start the competition. I was afraid that it would affect your performance. Affect my ass. In a competition of this level, what could possibly affect their performance? However, Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yucheng and swallowed her saliva. That might not be the case, perhaps it would really affect. Sister-in-law, you should think about what to do now. It wasn't easy for the two of you to get back together. Don't break up again. I really can't take this blow. Pei Yutong spoke in despair. Lin Yan's face darkened. She had broken up with Pei Yucheng, not with him. Why would he suffer such a blow? Lin Yan felt a headache coming on. Does your brother really hate racing that much? Pei Yutong muttered under his breath, my brother chased me out of the house because of racing. Every time I mention racing. No, even if I drive a little faster, my brother gets angry. What do you think? Lin Yan was dumbfounded. Isn't that the end? Pei Yutong replied, I think so too. Lin Yan was speechless. She had no choice but to bite the bullet and walk toward Pei Yucheng. The man was dressed casually today. Even though he was dressed casually, he was still so handsome that it made one's heart skip a beat. Is the competition over? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl. Judging from the man's expression, he didn't seem angry at all. However, it was hard to guess Pei Yucheng's emotions, so Lin Yan couldn't figure out his attitude. Lin Yan nodded cautiously. Ahem. Yes. It's over. Shall we have dinner together? How could Lin Yan say no? She nodded eagerly. Okay. Okay, Lin Yan couldn't help but ask, Mr. Pei, did you watch my competition? Pei Yucheng nodded. I did. Tears streamed down Lin Yan's cheeks. Wasn't she being caught in public? That, how should I put it, actually, or she could say that she didn't know how to race at all and didn't like racing. She was only doing it for Grandpa's team and was forced to do it. Even if she won, it would have been pure luck. Lin Yan was racking her brains for an explanation when he suddenly stroked her hair. His deep and magnetic voice was low and husky. What reward do you want for winning the competition? Huh? Lin Yan, who was dumbfounded, couldn't react in time. Not only wasn't Pei Yucheng angry, but he even wanted to reward her. Pei Yutong, who was listening intently in the front passenger seat, was speechless. Is there nothing you want? Pei Yucheng gazed at her quietly. He paused for a moment before he said, anything you want. The indulgence and pampering in the man's eyes were like warm seawater wrapping around her, simply enough to drown her. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit Self-Love website. Chapter 354. Lin Yan was speechless, Pei Yutong was speechless. His big brother hadn't watched any of his races, but he had attended his sister-in-law's race. If he won, he wouldn't even get a wheel. If his sister-in-law won, she would give him everything she wanted. His brother was simply a world-renowned double standard. Forget it. As long as big brother and sister-in-law were in love, he didn't care how much he suffered. Actually, Lin Yan was surprised by Pei Yucheng's attitude. She asked in a daze, Mr. Pei, aren't you angry that I went to race? Pei Yucheng propped his hand on his forehead and gazed at the girl intently. Why would I be angry? You look beautiful on the track. Lin Yan was speechless. The moment Pei Yucheng said that, Lin Yan felt as though her heart had melted into a flowing stream in spring. She had only felt occasional feelings for Pei Yucheng in the past, but now, this was the first time she really wanted to be with him. Pei Yutong tilted his head and glanced at Cheng Yimou. Actually, I'm very handsome when I race. Cheng Yimou was speechless. Have you thought about it? Asked Pei Yucheng. Lin Yan snapped back to her senses and realized what had just happened. She was startled by her own thoughts. Was she crazy? How dare she covet Pei Yucheng? Lin Yan scratched her head and said hastily, I don't think there's a reward. Besides, I don't think I want anything. Actually, Pei Yucheng's I can have anything was really bewitching. Pei Yucheng replied nonchalantly, there's no rush. You can think about it slowly. It's effective any time. The car arrived at Pei Yucheng's villa. They saw Pei Nanxiu as soon as they entered. Pei Nanxiu stood up and smiled warmly. You're back. Pei Nanxiu glanced at Lin Yan and asked casually, Big sister-in-law, I heard that you participated in a race today? Yeah. How did you know? I accidentally saw the gossip. I wanted to go with Big Brother to support you, but I had work to do today, so I couldn't go, explained Pei Nanxiu. I see, indeed, the gossip had leaked. However, she hadn't expected Pei Yucheng to read the gossip. How was the competition? Asked Pei Nanxiu. Because it was only a low-level qualifier, it would not be broadcast on TV, let alone live broadcast. People outside the circle would not pay attention to this kind of race. Only some fans at the scene would know the results of the race. Before Lin Yan could respond, Pei Yutong interjected excitedly, my big sister-in-law will definitely win. Is there still any suspense? Pei Nanxiu chuckled lightly. I didn't expect you to have such a special ability. Actually, this competition is a good opportunity to change the fans' impression of you. Lin Yan nodded furiously. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. My manager, Zhao Hongling, has promised the company that she has to top the sales within 3 months. Otherwise, she will have to resign from her position as the director of the talent recruitment department. Hence, I've been thinking of ways to boost my sales. There's not much time left, so I'm thinking that I'll create a wave of momentum after the movie is released, and then use this competition to create another wave of momentum. With the 2 waves of popularity together, it shouldn't be a problem to rush to the top of the sales within the final time limit. For mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 355. Pei Nanxiu listened to Lin Yan's analysis and quipped, it seems like you have it all planned out. No wonder my brother is so confident in you. Previously, when we asked my brother if we needed to help you, my brother said that you could handle it yourself. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yucheng in surprise. Pei Yucheng's trust, understanding, and respect had touched her even more than her heart had ever been moved. Thank you. Lin Yan glanced at Pei Yucheng and couldn't help but thank him. Thank you, for trusting me. She had been despised by the entire world. Pei Yucheng bent over and poured a glass of juice for Lin Yan. You're welcome. I have always had good taste. Lin Yan felt as though she had been injected with adrenaline when she heard Pei Yucheng's words. Just when she had thought that Pei Yucheng was blind, he had said that he had always had good taste. Boss thought so highly of her. Lin Yan replied excitedly, I promised Mr. Pei that I would enter Summit Entertainment. I can't just enter just like that. Of course, I have to sign it in a glamorous manner. Don't worry, I will work hard. Huh? Why did it sound like she was going to marry him in a glamorous manner? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl, who looked as though she wanted to work hard and contribute to the company. Helplessness flickered in his eyes as he retrieved a document from the drawer. The contract is ready. Take a look and see if there are any amendments. If there are no problems, you can sign it at any time. Lin Yen took the contract. Can I, buy one get two free? My manager and assistant have been working together for a long time. I guarantee that my manager is very capable, and my assistant is very attentive, gentle, and sweet. Pei Yucheng replied, it's up to you. You can decide. I will get my assistant to prepare a copy of the contract. She hadn't expected that Pei Yucheng would agree without hesitation. Lin Yen stared at the man in front of her. It was as though a pair of pure white wings had sprouted from his back. He was like an angel. What do you want to eat tonight? I'll cook for you, Pei Yucheng said as he prepared to cook. Lin Yen was speechless. Lin Yen felt a chill down her spine when she heard this. He was going to cook again. Pei Yutong spat out a mouthful of juice and Pei Nanxiu looked nervous. Lin Yen replied hastily, no, it's okay. How can I let Mr. Pei cook for me personally? That's right, big brother. Let the chef at home do it. Big sister-in-law hasn't tried the new chef's cooking yet. Pei Yutong chimed in. Pei Nanxiu replied, big brother, I didn't know that you were going to cook. I asked the kitchen to prepare the food. Lin Yen grabbed his arm when she saw that he was still contemplating. We don't meet often. It's rare for us to meet again. Can you spend more time with me? Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl's arm. Okay. Pei Yutong looked excited. Big sister-in-law, well done. Pei Nanxiu heaved a sigh of relief. In case he wanted to cook again, she led him to the bedroom. Initially, Lin Yen had been worried that there would be an awkward silence when she was alone with Pei Yucheng. In the end, Pei Yucheng chatted casually with her about the trivial matters of his life. He didn't seem awkward at all. Chapter 356. In the living room, Pei Nanxiu glanced at Cheng Mo. How's my brother's condition? Cheng Mo clicked on a photo on his phone and replied, ever since the last incident, President Pei's condition has been extremely unstable. The chairman has already transferred all the experts from the United States to the country to be on standby in case of an emergency. The doctor just sent the test results. He said that President Pei's condition exceeded the limit 6 times today, but there was a period where his condition was stable. Hence, he asked me what he was doing during this period. I took a look. This stable period happened to be the period from when Boss Pei went to the competition venue to meet Miss Lin until now. Pei Yutong clicked his tongue. He's indeed my father. He's so powerful. If big sister-in-law stays by my brother's side 24 hours a day, wouldn't he recover? Pei Nanxiu frowned. Lin Yen is a human being. How can she be restricted 24 hours a day? Have you forgotten what happened last time? Pei Yutong nodded furiously. That's true. Although big sister-in-law's stabilizer is very effective, it's also a ticking time bomb. It was terrifying when big sister-in-law flipped out. Cheng Mo chimed in, President Pei and Miss Lin's relationship has stabilized. That's the best outcome. We can't be too hasty. Pei Yutong quipped, as long as big sister-in-law doesn't break up with big brother, everything will be fine. I can just beg big sister-in-law if there's anything. Lin Yen stayed for dinner and discussed the contract with Pei Yucheng and Pei Nanxiu. Pei Yucheng's condition wasn't stable, and he didn't like people approaching him. Hence, Pei Nanxiu had been staying at the villa to take care of him. Pei Yutong, who had run away from home, couldn't come here casually. Hence, he took advantage of Lin Yan's presence to enjoy the feeling of staying in a huge villa. Soon, it was past 11 p.m. Pei Yucheng reminded her, it's late. Go back and rest. Lin Yan hadn't noticed the time until Pei Yucheng reminded her that it was getting late. Oh, okay. I'll make a move first. Mr. Pei, you should rest early too. Lin Yan stood up. Pei Yutong, who had been playing games on the couch, stood up immediately. I'm leaving too. Sister-in-law was not here, so he did not dare to stay here alone. Pei Yucheng and Pei Nanxiu walked Lin Yan to the door and asked Pei Yutong to take her back. Pei Yutong blinked and frowned. Why didn't Big Brother send her off personally? However, he didn't dare to refute his big brother's words, nor did he dare to ask. He really felt that the relationship between his elder brother and his sister-in-law was too distant. They did not seem like a couple at all. Isn't this progress a little too slow? Okay, I'll definitely send sister-in-law home safely. As Pei Yutong spoke, he couldn't help but curse inwardly. Even if he let his sister-in-law go out alone at night, the one in danger would be someone else. Lin Yan bade them farewell and got into Pei Yutong's car. Pei Yucheng didn't return to his room immediately. Instead, he lowered his eyes and lit a cigarette. He stood quietly in the dark as he watched the car leave. Beep, 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 on his wrist, the silver watch's siren went from weak and slow to rapid and intense. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 357. Brother, are you all right? Pei Nanxiu hesitated as he stood nervously by the side. From Pei Nanxiu's point of view, Big Brother had always been cold and distant in their hearts. He had always been indifferent to relationships and had been like an omnipotent god. He was flawless and didn't have any normal human emotions. Until Lin Yan had appeared, although they didn't know the reason, Lin Yan seemed to be more important to Big Brother than they had imagined. To Big Brother, there was no one or anything in his life that could escape his control. This was the first time he had treated someone with such care, such nervousness and restraint, in the car that gradually drove away. Lin Yan, who was sitting in the front passenger seat, frowned as she instinctively turned around. She seemed to have vaguely heard the familiar sound of her watch's alarm. She didn't know why, but she felt uneasy. She couldn't help but recall the scene of Pei Yucheng standing below her building that night. Pei Yutong, who didn't notice Lin Yan's absent-mindedness, exclaimed excitedly, "Daddy! You're really awesome. You actually beat WW. Daddy, take me in as your disciple. I want to be your disciple." Lin Yan rolled her eyes at him. She wasn't in the mood to talk to him. "I refuse." Pei Yutong looked aggrieved. "Why?" Lin Yan replied, "I don't accept disciples for no reason." None of the racers she had trained were below the first level of the international competition. Pei Yutong retorted confidently, "How can I be the same as others? I'm your brother-in-law after all. Can't you just let me in?" Lin Yan was speechless. She couldn't refute him. However, her father, brother-in-law, and disciple. What kind of complicated and strange relationship would that be? Lin Yan brushed him off casually. "I think a father-son relationship is good enough. If we become master and disciple, wouldn't my seniority drop?" Pei Yutong thought that her words made sense. He pondered them seriously before he replied, "No way. Isn't there a saying that goes, a teacher for a day is a father for life? No matter what, you'll always be my father. This will never change." Lin Yan was speechless as she listened to Pei Yutong's solemn promise. Pei Yutong's eyes darted around when Lin Yan fell silent. Suddenly, he exclaimed, "It's okay if you don't want to accept me as your disciple. You're my father, so you should teach me. Don't you agree, Dad? A disciple was nothing. You can have many disciples, but you can only have me as your son." Lin Yan was speechless. "That's enough. Haven't you ever thought that you still have two big brothers? Is it really good for you to acknowledge a father unilaterally? Daddy, why are you so absent-minded? What are you thinking about? Pei Yutong finally realized that something was amiss. Lin Yen propped her forehead against her palm as she watched the Pei family's mansion from the rear-view mirror. She muttered, I miss your brother, pft. Pei Yutong coughed violently as he grumbled, Big sister-in-law, can you remind me when you stuff dog food into my mouth next time? I might choke if you stuff dog food into my mouth without warning. How's your brother's health recently? Have you recovered? Asked Lin Yen. Pei Yutong replied, how could she have recovered? She acts up several times a day. Her condition is as unstable as a roller coaster. Chapter 358. Lin Yen frowned. Then why did Pei Yucheng keep telling her that he was fine? She had thought that given Pei Yucheng's background, the experts would have a solution. However, whenever he's with you, big sister-in-law, my brother's condition is very stable. Actually, Lin Yen had realized this herself. She hadn't believed it at first and had thought that it was just a coincidence. When the car was about to leave the villa, Lin Yen suddenly told Pei Yutong, hold on. Turn around and go back to the villa. Huh? Go back to the villa? Now? Pei Yutong was startled. Yes. Now. Lin Yen replied anxiously, afraid that she would regret her decision. What was this about the more beautiful a creature was, the more poisonous it was? This time, she just wanted to follow her heart and be willful for once. Oh, okay. Pei Yutong thought that she had something urgent to attend to, so he turned around hurriedly and drove back. At the entrance of the villa, under the shade of the swaying trees, the starlight sprinkled through the gaps. Pei Yucheng was still in the same position as when Lin Yen had left. He stood there quietly, holding a cigarette between his fingers. He hadn't even taken a puff, so the faint smoke lingered around his fingertips. Although he still had that cold and indifferent expression on his face, the intermittent sound of the watch on his wrist revealed the true emotions of the owner. Pei Nanxiu, who was standing a few steps behind her, was worried. He was accompanying her. The night breeze was chilly, so Pei Nanxiu glanced at his big brother. He was still worried about his health, so he reminded him, brother, let's go back. It's cold outside. Pei Yucheng nodded slightly and tossed the cigarette in his hand. He crushed it and turned to walk into the room. Just as they were about to enter the villa, they heard the sound of a bicycle engine. Pei Nanxiu turned around and stared at Pei Yutong in surprise. Yutong? Pei Yutong and Lin Yen got out of the car at the same time. Why are you back? Pei Nanxiu asked instinctively. Pei Yutong scratched his head. I don't know. Big sister-in-law asked me to come back. Pei Yucheng turned to look at Lin Yen. His expression didn't change as he asked, did you leave something behind? Lin Yen strode over to the man and raised her head to look at him. Yeah, it's... What is it? I'll help you look for it, said Pei Yucheng. Just as he was about to turn around, his hand was suddenly grabbed by a soft little hand. Then, he looked into a pair of eyes that were as bright as stars. Then, he heard the girl mumble, no, I didn't leave anything behind. It's you. Pei Yucheng was speechless, Pei Nanxiu was speechless, Pei Yutong was speechless, Pei Yucheng seemed to be in a daze. Lin Yen, who had always been polite and respectful to him, had suddenly said something like that to him. He was momentarily speechless. Lin Yan's face heated up when she met the man's startled gaze. She gathered her courage and said, didn't you say that you would reward me because I won? And you said I can have anything I want? Pei Yucheng replied, yes, oh, then I want to stay with you. Is that okay? Asked Lin Yen. Pei Yucheng was speechless, Nanxiu was speechless, Pei Yutong, what, did he just hear? Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 359. Pei Yucheng's eyes, which had always been calm, flashed with astonishment. Pei Nanxiu and Pei Yutong hadn't expected that Lin Yan would take the initiative to show off her affection. For a moment, the three of them stood there in a daze, not saying a word. The air fell into a dead silence. Lin Yan coughed softly. "Can't I?" Actually, Lin Yan's thoughts were simple. She would return the favor if others were kind to her. Pei Yucheng understood and respected her racing career and her career in the entertainment industry. He even admired her. This was what touched her the most. Pei Nanxiu had reduced his workload to take care of Pei Yucheng, even though he knew that he wasn't in good health. Regardless of whether this relationship was fake or fake, she was Pei Yucheng's girlfriend. She had to do something for him. When Pei Yucheng met the girl's inquisitive gaze, his eyes, which were as dark as the night, seemed to be filled with stars. He replied softly, "Of course." This was the first time that Lin Yan had taken the initiative to approach him. Pei Yutong stood beside the car in a daze. He felt as though he and his second brother were two bright light bulbs. Are they living together? What the? I was just complaining that big brother and big sister-in-law were progressing too slowly. Why did they suddenly speed up? Pei Yutong gasped in amazement. This speed. He's indeed my father. Pei Nanxiu coughed softly. It seems like we have forgotten about another possibility, the possibility that Lin Yan would take the initiative to approach Big Brother. Lin Yan had been too polite to Big Brother. She had even seemed afraid of him. He hadn't expected that Lin Yan would take the initiative to stay. In that case, she would be able to spend more time with Big Brother, which would be beneficial to his recovery. Pei Yutong was thrilled. Haha. I knew it. As long as big sister-in-law and big brother don't break up, they will get closer and closer. They will naturally be inseparable. What's there to worry about? I think it's better for my sister-in-law to say something than to be sent flying by that group of experts. Pei Nanxiu smiled and didn't retort. Pei Yutong was right. It's just sad to be a single dog. Pei Yutong sighed miserably. I haven't dated in a long time because I've been focusing on my career. In the past, he was also a little white dragon who had many girlfriends. However, ever since he fell in love with racing, women were no longer interesting to him. He only wanted to date a racer. Pei Nanxiu, who had never been in a relationship, coughed. She coughed softly and said, "I didn't mean anything by it. Mr. Pei hasn't been feeling well recently, so I thought that we could take care of each other if we stayed together. Otherwise, it wouldn't be good if I didn't do anything when he gave up on his work and took some time out of his schedule." Pei Yucheng chuckled softly. It's fine. You can have other meanings. Lin Yan was speechless, Nanxiu was speechless. For the first time, Pei Qian, who had always been doted on by everyone, felt like an extra. Chapter 360. Lin Yan hadn't thought much about it. However, when she heard him say that she could have other meanings, she couldn't help but let her imagination run wild. Come to think of it, her request could easily be misunderstood. How tragic. Would Pei Yucheng think that she had some ulterior motives? That was why she had suggested moving in with him? Heaven was her witness. She really hadn't. Her original intentions had been pure and innocent. Unfortunately, she couldn't explain herself now. Pei Yutong chimed in happily, big sister-in-law, I'll help you move now. Lin Yan stared speechlessly at Pei Yutong, who looked as though he was celebrating the new year. It's too late now. I have to go back and pack my things. Besides, a friend of mine helped me rent that apartment. I have to inform him that I'm moving out. Pei Yucheng's eyes flickered. Wang Jingyang? Lin Yan nodded, looking surprised. Yeah, Wang Jingyang. Mr. Pei, how do you know my friend's name? You've mentioned him before, Pei Yucheng replied casually. Lin Yan asked, huh? Really? She didn't remember mentioning Wang Jingyang in front of Pei Yucheng. Perhaps she had unintentionally mentioned him but had forgotten. It's only right to inform him, Pei Yucheng replied. Call me after you're done packing. I'll pick you up. Okay. Back at the apartment, Lin Yan had originally planned to look for Wang Jingyang the next morning. She hadn't expected to bump into him as she walked downstairs. Hi, doggy. Lin Yan's eyes lit up as she hurried forward. Why are you back so late? Wang Jingyang frowned as he glanced at her. Lin Yan replied, That's great. I have something to tell you. Why don't you treat me to supper? Wang Jingyang glanced at her. Why should I treat you to supper? Lin Yan raised an eyebrow and replied nonchalantly, I won today's competition. Aren't you going to celebrate it for me? Wang Jingyang rolled his eyes at her. Forget it. If I have to treat you to a meal every time I win a match, I'll go bankrupt. Besides, you want me to treat you to a meal for such a small competition? Aren't you embarrassed? Wang Jingyang knew that Lin Yan was going to help the He family with the competition. However, he didn't need to guess to know what would happen. He didn't pay much attention to her, nor was he interested in watching her beat up the weaklings. You haven't answered me yet. Why did you come back so late? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan's eyes darted around guiltily. Why can't I come back so late? Aren't you unemployed recently? The competition should have ended a long time ago. You don't have any friends in the country, so why did you come back so late? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan was rendered speechless. Was there a need to be so hurtful? Lin Yan rolled her eyes and retorted, I don't have many friends in the country, but can't I have a boyfriend? For a moment, Wang Jingyang thought he had misheard. What did you say? What do you have? Boyfriend. Did you drink too much again? Wang Jingyang looked disgusted. Lin Yan replied, I didn't drink much. I really have a boyfriend. Initially, Lin Yan had thought that Pei Yucheng wouldn't be in a relationship for long, so she hadn't planned on telling Wang Jingyang about it. However, based on the current situation, they wouldn't be breaking up anytime soon. After all, Wang Jingyang was her brother, so there was no need to hide it from him. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Yes. You have a boyfriend. Are you going to tell me that your boyfriend is Pei Nanxiu? Girls usually treated their idols as their boyfriends and husbands. Lin Yan had often praised Pei Nanxiu's handsome boyfriend in front of his posters, so Wang Jingyang was used to it. Lin Yan replied, although he isn't Pei Nanxiu, he does have something to do with him. Wang Jingyang noticed the seriousness on Lin Yan's face. She didn't look like she was joking. His eyes narrowed. Really? Who is it? Lin Yan replied, Pei Nanxiu's older brother, Pei Yucheng. Wang Jingyang was speechless. Chapter 361. The corners of Wang Jingyang's mouth twitched as he snapped back to reality. Women are fickle creatures. Didn't you say that Pei Nanxiu would never be a fan? Would he never be a fan? What's wrong? You've changed your wall now? Wang Jingyang didn't take it seriously. He assumed that Lin Yan had simply changed her idol. After all, they lived so close to each other. He was well aware of Lin Yan's daily activities. How could he not know that she had gotten a boyfriend right under his nose? He had known Lin Yan for years, so how could he not know her? As long as she had made a decision, she would never change her mind. Previously, she had said that she wanted to focus on her work. There was no way she would start a relationship now. Besides, she had just gotten into a fight with Han Yishuan. How could she get a new boyfriend so soon? Furthermore, her boyfriend was a man who would never have anything to do with her. Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan looked helpless and aggrieved. Why didn't anyone believe her nowadays? Lin Yan replied, I'm not changing my boyfriend. I can change my boyfriend. However, I will never change my boyfriend. I really have a boyfriend. Why don't you believe me? Wang Jingyang replied, why would I believe you? Lin Yan was speechless. That was right. She must have seen a ghost. That was why she had gotten a boyfriend. You want me to believe that the boss of JM Corporation is a blind man? Do you think that's possible? Wang Jingyang glanced at her. Lin Yan narrowed her eyes. What the hell? Say that again. Wang Jingyang shuddered in fear as he stumbled backward. What I mean is, you have a lot of inner qualities. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to appreciate it. They would only be able to see the surface. Only someone like me, who has inner qualities and isn't superficial, Wang Jingyang muttered softly to himself. Lin Yan inhaled deeply. She couldn't be bothered to explain anymore. The reason why she didn't tell Wang Jingyang before was that she had already expected this to be the sender. Well, not to mention Wang Jingyang, even if she was in his shoes, she wouldn't believe it either. Anyway, she had already said what she needed to say. When the time came, Wang Jingyang could not blame her for not being loyal to her brother and purposely hiding it from him. By the way, you just said that you have something to tell me. What is it? Wang Jingyang asked. Lin Yan replied, I wanted to tell you that I'm moving to my boyfriend's place. Wang Jingyang, wake up, brother. Have you really gone crazy from chasing stars? Lin Yan was speechless. You're the silly one. Anyway, I'm going to move, replied Lin Yan. Wang Jingyang was a little surprised. He frowned and asked, where are you moving to? Didn't you just rent this house for a few months? Lin Yan mulled it over. Since you don't believe that I'm moving to my boyfriend's place, you can assume that I'm moving to the company's dormitory. Pei Yucheng was her boss, so it wouldn't be a problem if he said that it was the company's dormitory. With your current performance, it would be good enough if the company didn't kick you out. Why would they arrange a dormitory for you? Wang Jingyang said in disbelief. Lin Yan snorted coldly. Can't I jump ship? The new company has arranged a huge villa for me. Wang Jingyang's face darkened when he heard Lin Yan's words. Forgive me for reminding you. Don't forget that you have already paid a year's rent. If you break the contract now, you won't be able to get a refund. Lin Yan was stunned when she heard him. Her heart ached. No way, I'll update 2 chapters first. I'll update more later. It's so lonely not seeing your comments. I don't have the energy to write anymore. Chapter 362. Lin Yan suddenly recalled that there had been such a clause in the contract. If she broke the contract, she wouldn't be able to rent it out. Wang Jingyang studied Lin Yan's pained expression and coughed softly. Anyway, you've already paid. Why don't you move to the company's dormitory when the contract expires? She had already promised Pei Yucheng, so she couldn't go back on her word now. In the end, Lin Yan could only grit her teeth and say, fine. At most, I'll just leave the apartment there. Wang Jingyang was shocked when he heard her. He knew how stingy Lin Yan was. He hadn't expected that she would insist on moving out even if she didn't refund the rent. Which company did you jump to? Why are you making such a huge sacrifice? Wang Jingyang had assumed that Lin Yan would have joined a mediocre management company. He couldn't help but feel curious now. I haven't signed the contract yet. I'll discuss it with Sister Ling tomorrow and let you know. Lin Yen replied perfunctorily. If she had told him that she had signed with Summit Entertainment, Wang Jingyang wouldn't have believed her and would have questioned her again. After she returned to her apartment, Lin Yen tidied up her things. She didn't have many things, so she only needed a suitcase and a big bag. Once she was done packing, she could move out the next day. Lin Yen wandered around to see if she had left anything behind. Oh yeah. She had almost forgotten something important. Lin Yen rummaged under her pillow and found a garlic, an 8-trigram mirror, and a bunch of talismans. She had bought a lot of things last time, but Wang Jingyang had told her that she had asked him to throw them away. She had bought more and hidden them under her pillow. Although they didn't seem to be of much use, it was obvious that she hadn't completed the last scene with Pei Nanxiu on the day of the completion of filming. However, she hadn't caused any trouble for her. Instead, she had helped her a lot. Had she finally gotten what she wanted? Had she won Pei Yucheng's heart? At this thought, Lin Yen suddenly recalled something. She had been worried that her other consciousness would do something to other male celebrities when she had lost consciousness. In the end, she had only done indescribable things to Pei Yucheng. So the other consciousness in her body had been after Pei Yucheng? Oh my god. If she stayed with Pei Yucheng now, wouldn't she be sending Pei Yucheng to the tiger's den? Lin Yen clutched the garlic in her hand as her face turned pale. No, she had to think of a way to protect Pei Yucheng. She couldn't let this happen. The next day, Lin Yen went to Star Entertainment to talk to Zhao Hongling about her plans and the matter of signing with Summit Entertainment. When he arrived at the company and walked to Zhao Hongling's office, he saw many people surrounding the door, pointing and gossiping. There were also many employees moving things in and out of the building. Lin Yen glanced at them and noticed that they were moving Zhao Hongling's belongings. Zhao Hongling coldly watched from the side, while Toto angrily and anxiously tried to stop those people. Stop. Stop moving. Manager Gao. What do you mean by that? What right do you have to occupy Sister Ling's office? A well-dressed middle-aged man sat in the seat that had belonged to Zhao Hongling with a smug look on his face. What do you mean? What do you mean? If you can't meet the sales target, you will be fired from your position. This office should belong to someone with ability. Chapter 363. At this moment, a gorgeous young girl who was dressed fashionably next to Gao Zhiwei glanced in Zhao Hongling's direction and sneered. Director Zhao said that she would resign from the position of director if she couldn't meet the sales target. But the deadline hasn't arrived yet. Duo gritted her teeth as she retorted. Although it was impossible for them to complete the contract, they were only delaying the deadline by 3 months. Why were they so impatient? At this moment, the other artistes who were watching from the side said, "There's only less than a week left, and you're still hoping to surpass Brother Wei's performance this quarter in such a short time? Dream on." Yeah. Qianqian's resources have been going through the roof these few months. 2 blockbuster movies are about to be released, and a drama with a female lead is about to start filming. She has even signed a contract to be the spokesperson for CA. How can you compete with her? Don't tell me it's to use that dog skin plaster that's been scolded so badly that he doesn't even dare to come out? Ha ha ha. That bullsh** T plaster. Even if Zhao Hongling makes use of the entire entertainment industry, she won't be able to catch up to Qianqian. Don't insult Qianqian. Exactly. The only movie that is about to be released is a supporting actress. She has already been scolded by the netizens. Jiang Sifei's acting will definitely be a joke. I heard that she has even embarrassed herself in the racing industry. Gao Zhiwei used to be Zhao Hongling's manager. Unlike Zhao Hongling, who focused on results, Gao Zhiwei loved to build relationships. And Xianxian was one of Gao Zhiwei's actresses. She was pretty, but there were too many good-looking actresses in the entertainment industry. She didn't have any special talents, so she had always been mediocre. However, Gao Zhiwei had recently found an impressive boss for An Xianxian. Hence, An Xianxian's career had taken off in an instant. Her resources had exploded, and she had broken Star Entertainment's sales record. Even Zhao Hongling, who had managed Liang Xifei, wouldn't be able to catch up to her. In the company, whoever had the highest performance would be able to do whatever they wanted. Gao Zhiwei was riding on the crest of success, so he had already assumed that the position of director was in his bag. Why would he place Zhao Hongling there? As for the other employees, they all joined Gao Zhiwei's side when they saw that Zhao Hongling had lost her power and would never be able to rise again. No matter what, it's not time yet, and Sister Ling is still the director. You don't have the right to do this. Duo said as he suppressed his anger. Gao Zhiwei smiled. Oh, it's not time yet. It's not time yet, but I'm going to kick you out. What can you do to me? Go complain to the boss if you have the guts. Why don't you try and see if he ignores you? And Xianxian folded her arms across her chest and snorted softly. You have fallen so low as to rely on a trashy artist like Lin Yan to make a comeback. Do you still think that you're the director of the talent department who managed the award-winning actress? Now that An Xianxian had found a rich man, she was even more unscrupulous. She waved her slender fingers and ordered, "Don't worry about them. Continue moving. Oh right, vacate the lounge on the 3rd floor as well. No one is allowed to use it except for me." Duoduo's face darkened. Sister Ling had paid for the renovation of the lounge on the 3rd floor so that Jiang Xifei could have a safe place to rest when she returned to the company. How could they be so greedy? When the time came, even if she made achievements, it could only be his. His mouth was still full of hypocrisy. What wishful thinking. What are you waiting for? Didn't you hear what Brother Gao said? Hurry up and move your junk to your office. One of the employees impatiently shoved a cardboard box into Toto's arms. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 365. An Xianxian clicked her tongue and replied nonchalantly, "Director Zhao, you have to know that you have to bear some responsibility for Liang Xifei's job hopping. You have caused such a huge loss to the company. It's already a miracle that the company hasn't chased you out. It's all thanks to Brother Gao who spoke up for you in front of the boss that you can stay and be his assistant. You have to be grateful." Gao Zhiwei stroked his chin and added, "Oh yeah, other than Liang Xifei, you don't have anyone else under you. Although Lin Yan has been slandered all the time, she is still pretty. I have already spoken to the higher-ups. From today onward, Lin Yan will be under me. I will be in charge of Lin Yan's schedule and work arrangements." Zhao Hongling, who had been silent all this while, finally blurted out, "That's impossible." She knew Gao Zhiwei all too well. An artist like Lin Yan would be nothing more than a chess piece in his hands. He would never sincerely support Lin Yan. He would ask Lin Yan to entertain the investors and exchange resources for the artists under him. Gao Zhiwei sneered coldly. "Director Zhao. Oh, no. You are no longer the director. Miss Zhao, forgive me for reminding you that you have no right to decide who your artist belongs to." Gao Zhiwei had just finished speaking when a girl's clear voice rang out. "Thank you for your kind intentions, future Director Gao." Lin Yan strode into the office and leaned over to help Zhao Hongling up. Then, she smiled and said, "However, I'm really sorry, Director Gao. You have no right to order me around. Gao Zhiwei's face darkened when he saw that Lin Yan had rejected him. Who do you think you are? It's your honor that I'm willing to hire you. Otherwise, with your virtue, apart from having a body full of black spots, you have no education, and no acting skills. How dare you reject me? Gao Zhiwei paused before he added, also, Lin Yan, I have no right to order you around. You have to understand the situation. I, Gao Zhiwei, am in charge of this company. You have to do whatever I ask you to do. Don't push your luck. Lin Yan watched Gao Zhiwei quietly without saying a word. Gao Zhiwei noticed that Lin Yan wasn't responding, so he assumed that she had given in. He sounded as though he was giving her a reward. I've arranged a dinner in a few days. Remember to dress up nicely and be on time. If you mess it up, I'll make you suffer. Lin Yan waited for Gao Zhiwei to finish before she replied, even if you're the boss, it wouldn't matter. I have already decided to terminate my contract with the company. From today onwards, I'm no longer a part of Star Entertainment. Gao Zhiwei was taken aback. What did you say? You want to terminate the contract with the company? Given Lin Yan's current situation, she should be grateful that Star Entertainment was still willing to hire her. How dare she terminate her contract with the company? The only use of an artist who couldn't be nurtured was to curry favor with the bosses and get some resources for Qianqian. When that time came, Lin Yan would be considered a huge favor. She actually dared to terminate the contract with the company. Who gave her the courage? Where would she get the money to terminate the contract? After terminating the contract, which company would want a troublemaker like her? Chapter 366. Besides Gao Zhiwei, Zhao Hongling and Duo were shocked as well. Duo tugged at Lin Yan hastily. Sister Yan, you want to terminate the contract? Are you crazy? Even though Star Entertainment was a small company, it was a shelter and Sister Ling would take care of her. Once she left Star Entertainment, she would have nowhere else to go. I didn't have any work, so I couldn't even eat. Have you forgotten? Duo reminded her anxiously. And Qianqian's expression darkened and Lin Yan rejected her. Recently, she had her eye on a good movie, but the investor was difficult to deal with. He had a perverted fetish and had ruined many actresses. She didn't want to deal with him, so she had suggested that Gao Zhiwei get Lin Yan to accompany the investor. Who would have thought that Lin Yan would be so stubborn? And Qianqian sounded as though she had good intentions. She sounded a little threatening as she said, Lin Yan, this assistant is right. You have to think this through. Brother Wei is willing to hire you, bring you to dinner, and provide you with an opportunity. You should consider yourself lucky. If you miss this chance, you won't get another opportunity like this. It will be too late for regrets when you end up on the streets. Zhao Hongling frowned and strode over to Lin Yan. Lin Yan, don't worry. There's still a way out. I'll talk to boss. No matter what, I've worked for the company for so many years. Boss will give me some face. Actually, the fact that boss had allowed Gao Zhiwei to do this meant that his attitude was clear. Even if Zhao Hongling had worked hard for the company for many years and created a lot of income, in the eyes of the boss, she was just an abandoned pawn that could not create value for him. Lin Yan was lost in her thoughts when she heard the employees greeting her respectfully. Boss. Boss is here. Hi, boss. A man with a big belly and a beautiful assistant walked over and chided them. Why aren't all of you working properly? What are you doing? As soon as he saw the boss, Gao Zhiwei immediately went up to him and said with a face full of smiles, Oh. Boss, you're here. Why did you have to come over for such a small matter? I can settle it myself. And Qianqian walked to the other side of the boss and held his arm intimately. She looked aggrieved and complained in a sweet voice, "Boss, you came just in time. Can you control them? Zhao Hongling has caused the company to suffer a huge loss, and Lin Yan has embarrassed the company. Brother Wei has transferred Sister Ling to be his assistant on account of her years of service in the company. He's even willing to accept Lin Yan, who is a burden. In the end, the two of them aren't grateful at all." And Xianxian looked indignant. Lin Yan just threatened to terminate the contract. Is that so? Du Pengsheng, the boss of Star Entertainment, glanced at Lin Yan and Zhao Hongling. Chapter 367. Du Pengsheng's attitude turned colder. You will be transferred to Director Gao's assistant. Director Gao has already informed me that Lin Yan will be taking over. I have already approved it, so there's no need to discuss it further. From today onwards, you will be Director Gao's assistant. As for Lin Yan, she will follow Director Gao from now on. She will have to listen to Director Gao's instructions obediently. Zhao Hongling, who hadn't expected Du Pengsheng to be so ruthless, turned pale. President Du Pengsheng, who was getting impatient, interrupted her sternly. Zhao Hongling, you've created such a huge mess this time. I'm already being considerate by allowing you to stay in the company. Don't push your luck. Lin Yan chuckled softly as she replied, President Du, Star Entertainment was just a small, unknown company back then. We were on the verge of collapsing several times. All the managers had left the company, and Sister Ling was the only one left. During the company's most difficult times, Sister Ling stayed by our side. She was also the one who groomed Jiang Sifei and made the company famous. That was how the company got on the right track. Are you trying to get rid of her now that she's no longer of use? Du Pengsheng flew into a rage when he heard Lin Yan. Who do you think you are? How dare you speak to me like that? Gao Zhiwei and Yin Xianxian gloated at Lin Yan's infuriation. Gao Zhiwei quickly took the opportunity to comfort Du Pengsheng. Boss, don't stoop to their level. What do you mean by it was Zhao Hongling who made a name for the company? It was you who had a good eye for talent and outstanding methods. Yin Xianxian glanced at Lin Yan in disdain. Zhao Hongling is merely basking in the company's glory. Do you really think that Star Entertainment can't survive without Zhao Hongling? Lin Yan, don't be so ungrateful. Brother Wei is the director of the talent department. Many people want to follow him, but they can't. How dare you be so picky? Do you really think that you're Han Yishuan's girlfriend? Or do you think that he will fall for you? What a joke. Du Pengsheng felt much better when he heard her. Qianqian, stop talking to them. Either you listen to the company's arrangements or you get lost. Zhao Hongling still had some nostalgia for the company, but now that she heard this, she was completely disappointed. Du Pengsheng, I will only give you 1 day to think about it. Think about it carefully. Lin Yan grinned and replied casually, there's no need to think about it. I want to terminate the contract. Sigh, it feels good to have a big shot supporting you. In any case, she had already signed the contract with Summit Entertainment. She had no qualms about terminating the contract now. Du Pengsheng, Gao Zhiwei, and Yin Xianxian's faces darkened when they heard her. Lin Yan, don't be so shameless. Gao Zhiwei hissed coldly. If it weren't for her looks, he wouldn't have wanted her. How dare she refuse to give him face? Zhao Hongling hesitated to speak. In the end, she didn't stop Lin Yan. She couldn't even protect herself now, let alone her boss. Even if Lin Yan stayed on planet Qi, she wouldn't be able to protect her. Plenty seemed to have thought of this as well, so he didn't say anything else. However, terminating the contract, the penalty for terminating the contract wouldn't be a small sum either. Zhao Hongling was worried, so Lin Yen couldn't be bothered to waste her breath on Slaughter's Gate. She waved her hand and pulled Zhao Hongling and Duo away. "Sister Ling, don't worry. Even if the sky falls, you'll still have me. Also, where's the big shot?" For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 368. Zhao Hongling, Duo, and Lin Yen packed their things and left the office. And Qianqian watched them leave and leaned over to Gao Zhiwei's ear. She whispered, "Brother Wei, how dare Lin Yen threaten to terminate her contract with the company? Could Zhao Hongling have helped her find another company? Otherwise, why would she be so arrogant? If that's the case, what will happen to the banquet?" And Qianqian sounded worried. Gao Zhiwei chuckled softly. "Qianqian, you're really naive. Without Jiang Sifei, Zhao Hongling would be like a tiger without its fangs. She would be useless. How could she help Lin Yen find another job? As for Lin Yen, she has offended Triumph Entertainment. Which company or manager would dare to hire her? Lin Shuya would definitely wish for her to suffer. Lin Yen would never be able to make it big in this lifetime." And Qianqian nodded happily. "Brother Wei, you're so smart. I'm lucky that I chose you. If I had followed Zhao Hongling, I wouldn't have been able to make it big." Gao Zhiwei replied smugly, "It's good that you know that. As long as you listen to me, you will become the top girl of Star Entertainment. In the future, you will be the top girl of the entire entertainment industry. You should just wait and see. Lin Yen will come crying to me when the time comes." Meanwhile, Lin Yen and Duo had arrived at Zhao Hongling's place. On the way back, Toto didn't say a word. Instead, he sat down on the sofa with a gloomy expression. "Sister Ling, what should we do now? President Du doesn't care about our relationship at all. He only listens to Gao Zhiwei and Qianqian. Gao Zhiwei doesn't know anything about business and he only knows how to pull strings. How dare he ask you to be his assistant? How can he be so shameless?" The more Duo thought about it, the angrier she felt for Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling sighed heavily. "If you don't agree to his conditions, you will have to leave the company." Lin Yen glanced at Zhao Hongling and tried to sound her out. "Sister Ling, I wanted to say this earlier. Given your abilities, you can go anywhere you want. Why do you insist on staying at Star Entertainment? It's a waste of your talent." As Lin Yen spoke, she pondered how she should tell Zhao Hongling about Summit Entertainment. Zhao Hongling chuckled bitterly. "Lin Yen, some things aren't that simple." From Zhao Hongling's tone, there seemed to be something else she was hiding. Duo glanced at Lin Yen and explained, "Sister Yen, you haven't been with the company for long, so there are some things that you might not be aware of. Du Pengsheng is a despicable man. Anyone who has left planet Qi, be it an artist or a manager, will be vilified by him. Other companies didn't dare to accept it. Jiang Sifei, who had been poached by Triumph Entertainment, was an exception. She has a backer, so Du Pengsheng won't dare to mess with her." Duo added, "Of course, you don't have to worry about your dark skin. I'm just afraid that Sister Ling and the rest won't let you off." Lin Yen was speechless. Why couldn't he be sarcastic now? "Yeah, that makes sense. In that case, I don't have to be afraid of them," replied Lin Yen. Zhao Hongling shook her head and replied, "Lin Yen, it won't be easy to terminate the contract even if you manage to raise enough money. Gao Zhiwei will definitely hold on to your contract and won't let it go. Once he goes to court, it will take months or years. You won't be able to take on any jobs during this period. You will be crippled." Chapter 369. Zhao Hongling and Duo fell silent at this point. They were in a terrible situation. It was as though they had fallen into a hopeless situation. Zhao Hongling glanced at Duo, who knew what she wanted to say. Before she could speak, Duo interrupted her. Sister Ling, don't try to persuade me. I've said that I will go wherever you go. You will stay in planet Venus, and I will stay in planet Venus. If you leave, I will leave with you. Even if it's a small company, I will follow you. Zhao Hongling sighed helplessly. She didn't know what to say. Lin Yan rubbed her chin as she glanced at Zhao Hongling and Duo. Sister Ling, Duo. There's something I'd like to ask your opinion on. Duo glanced at Lin Yan. What is it? Zhao Hongling replied, speak. Lin Yan coughed softly. After I terminate my contract with Star Entertainment, I plan to go to Summit Entertainment. Are you guys willing to go with me? Zhao Hongling was speechless, Duo was speechless. For a moment, the air fell into a strange silence. Duo coughed violently after some time. Sister Yan, have you lost your mind? Lin Yan, who had expected Duo to react this way, replied helplessly, no, I'm serious. Actually, I came to the company today to talk to you about this. The corners of Duo's mouth twitched. Sister Yan, I'm not trying to nag you, but there has to be a limit. Do you know what kind of company Summit Entertainment is? Do you know what kind of artists are able to join Summit Entertainment? Jiang Sifei is so impressive, yet she could only join House of Millions Media, a subsidiary of Triumph Entertainment. She can't even hold a candle to Summit Entertainment. Lin Yan stroked her chin. Is it that impressive? Of course. Summit Entertainment isn't an ordinary management company. It's backed by JM Corporation. It's the Pei family. That's the agency of your idol, Pei Nanshu, who's a top-notch artist. It's the top company in the industry. It's filled with experts. More than half of the top celebrities in the entertainment industry come from Summit Entertainment. It's the only management company in the entertainment industry that's more powerful than Triumph Entertainment. Pei Yucheng is the tycoon in the business world. He's the boss of all the female fans in the entertainment industry. You should know him, right? He was the boss of Summit Entertainment. She has the most impressive backing in the entertainment industry. Duo rattled on. Lin Yan nodded as she listened to Duo praise Pei Yucheng. For some reason, she felt honored. I know Pei Yucheng. How could she not know her boyfriend? Lin Yan asked, so, are you guys coming with me or not? Sister Yan, I'm afraid you've gone completely crazy. Duo looked exhausted, as though she didn't want to talk to her anymore. Sister Ling, please persuade her. Advise her to get over it and not be so unrealistic. How dare he dream of joining Summit Entertainment? This is insane. Lin Yan stroked her chin and raised an eyebrow. What if I really managed to join Summit Entertainment? Duo rolled her eyes at her. I've said it before. If you can achieve the highest sales performance within 3 months, I'll serve you tea. If you join Summit Entertainment, I'll even call you Grandma. Lin Yan nodded. Oh, I see. I didn't expect to have a granddaughter at such a young age. Lin Yan retrieved a contract from her tattered bag and placed it on the coffee table in front of Duo and Zhao Hongling. Mobile users, please browse and read. For a better reading experience, please visit IAI. Chapter 370. On the cover of the contract, there was a line that read, Summit Entertainment Artist Contract Party A, Summit Entertainment Party B. Lin Yan. Duo froze for a few seconds before she picked up the contract. Although she didn't really understand it, she could still understand the terms Party A and Party B in the contract. Sister Ling, take a look at this contract. Duo hurriedly passed the contract to Zhao Hongling. Zhao Hongling read it carefully and realized that it was indeed a contract with Summit Entertainment. Sister Yen, did you forge this contract? Duo couldn't believe that Summit Entertainment would sign Lin Yen. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. What would I gain from forging this contract? Duo pondered for a moment and realized that Lin Yen didn't have to do something so meaningless, so, could this contract really be real? Lin Yen retrieved another 2 contracts from her bag. Sister Ling, this is your management contract and what was assistant contract. Duo read the 2 contracts and exchanged a look with Zhao Hongling. Both of them looked incredulous. It was as if a pie had fallen from the sky. Why did he feel dizzy? Lin Yen, what is going on? Asked Zhao Hongling. She couldn't figure out how Lin Yen had managed to get a contract with Summit Entertainment. She had even managed to get a contract with Duo. Summit Entertainment was famous for its strict standards. They wouldn't poach any artists unless they were A-list artists. Their talent and qualifications were extremely high, and it was the same for their managers. Although she had managed Jiang Xifei, the award-winning actress, in Star Entertainment, she was qualified to be the director of the talent recruitment department. In Summit Entertainment, there were many managers like her. Naturally, Lin Yen couldn't tell the truth. It wasn't that she didn't trust Sister Ling and Duo. It was just that the fewer people who knew about her relationship with Pei Yucheng, the better. Hence, Lin Yen deliberated over her words before she said, actually, I'm quite surprised. Summit Entertainment must have taken a liking to me because of my potential. They must have thought that I would be a hit. Lin Yan's story became smoother and smoother as she exclaimed, I never expected that there would be such an astute company nowadays. Duoduo's face darkened as she listened to Lin Yan's boast. She blurted out, is there something wrong with Summit Entertainment's head? Sister Yan's potential? Lin Yan shook the contract in her hand. I'm giving you another chance to rephrase your words. Duo was speechless. Who in Summit Entertainment would be so stupid as to see your potential? Lin Yan nodded in satisfaction. Good granddaughter. Zhao Hongling was about to speak when a few work emails popped up in her inbox. What happened, Sister Ling? Duo asked. Zhao Hongling stared at the email in her inbox and replied in a daze, I've been fired and Lin Yan's contract has been terminated. Plenty was about to explode from anger. These people are truly cruel and unscrupulous. What right did they have to chase Sister Ling away? And that Gao Jiwei, who does she think she is? She's just a vile person intoxicated by success. Previously, when he was working for Sister Ling, he had addressed her as his sister. Now, he had the cheek to ask Sister Ling to be his assistant. He even spoke as if it was a great gift. If she didn't agree, he would chase her out of the company. How much effort has Sister Ling put into this company? Zhao Hongling looked at the mailbox and let out a long sigh. The last bit of nostalgia in her heart had finally disappeared. Chapter 371. Lin Yan chuckled softly. Baby Duo, calm down. We already knew this would happen, didn't we? Right now, Gao Jiwei was trying to intimidate us. He was waiting for us to go back to them after our heads were bruised and bleeding. Then, we would obediently let them squeeze us dry. It's a pity. Lin Yan shook her head and quipped, it's a pity that they didn't expect our new boss to be so blind. Pfft. Our new boss has such a powerful backing. Duo was speechless. There was nothing wrong with that. This new boss wasn't just powerful. She wouldn't have dared to dream of it even if she burned incense for 8 lifetimes. Lin Yan glanced at the two of them and said, Sister Ling, Duo, if you agree, please sign the contract. Once you sign it, the contract will take effect. Zhao Hongling and Duo exchanged a glance. Out of caution, Zhao Hongling asked, who is the person who asked you to sign the contract? He seems to have a lot of authority. Otherwise, he wouldn't have agreed to sign the contract with me and give you the freedom to choose your own assistant. Hence, she mentioned the name of the person in charge of the talent recruitment department of Summit Entertainment. It's Qi Sheng from Team 3. Summit Entertainment's talent recruitment department was divided into several teams, and the competition between each team was intense. Qi Sheng was the leader of Team 3. Zhao Hongling heaved a sigh of relief when she heard this name. Oh, it's him. I've heard of him in the industry. He has an eclectic style and likes to sign unique artists. Although his performance in Summit Entertainment isn't impressive, he is a decent person. There shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. Sister Ling, if you say there won't be a problem, then there won't be a problem. Zhao Hongling glanced at Lin Yan helplessly. Leave the contract with me. I will read it carefully and sign it after I'm sure there won't be a problem. Lin Yan replied, all right. Thank you, Sister Ling. Oh yeah, you have to keep this a secret. Don't tell anyone you don't trust. This isn't a small matter, and I'm afraid it will cause a commotion. I'm sure Summit Entertainment has its own plans for the official announcement. We'll arrange a time to discuss it with Leader Qi after I read the contract, Zhao Hongling said. All right, I got it. No problem. Thank you, Sister Ling. Zhao Hongling held the 3-point contract with an indescribable feeling in her heart. You've finally come out on top. Although you'll face greater challenges in the future, this is also your greatest opportunity. At the same time, it was hers. In fact, many companies had offered to poach her. Although they weren't comparable to Summit Entertainment, they were much better than Star Entertainment. However, she had never thought of leaving. He didn't expect that he would leave in such a way. Zhao Hongling paused and said, also, thank you. Thank you for trusting me. Chapter 372. After settling the matters at Star Entertainment, Lin Yan hurried back to her apartment. She had just reached her apartment building when she saw a car parked outside. Pei Yutong opened the door and got out of the car. Big sister-in-law, you're finally back. Have you settled the matter? Lin Yan snapped her fingers. It's done. I've been fired. Pei Yutong muttered under his breath, this is the first time I've seen someone so happy after being fired. Lin Yan replied smugly, haven't you heard of this saying? If you can't forget your old lover, it means that your new one isn't good enough. Pei Yutong was speechless. Lin Yan heard a familiar chuckle behind her. She turned around and saw Pei Yucheng getting out of the car. She looked embarrassed. Ahem. Mr. Pei, why are you here? Today, Pei Yucheng was wearing a white shirt and a thin, light gray woolen sweater. He was also wearing a black trench coat that revealed the outline of his slender neck. He looked elegant and alluring. It seems like Miss Lin is satisfied with your new lover. The man chuckled softly. Lin Yan hadn't expected to be caught red-handed. She braced herself and said, I'm satisfied. Of course I'm satisfied. I can't be more satisfied. Pei Yutong, who had been the third wheel, was speechless. Oh yeah, third young master, why did you ask Mr. Pei to come? How could she trouble Mr. Pei to do such a heavy and tiring job? Mr. Pei is so weak now. Lin Yan grumbled. Pei Yutong looked aggrieved when he heard that. So, he could do it? His brother was weak? His brother's combat power was so terrifying that it was terrifying, okay? Forget it, forget it. He was the one who said it in the first place. What else could he do? He could only swallow his tears. No matter what, he had to help his brother maintain this weak persona. Pei Yucheng studied the girl's worried expression and reached out to stroke her head gently. It's okay. Yutong will be in charge of moving. I'll be in charge of picking you up. The man's deep, gentle voice rang in her ears. Lin Yan clutched her heart as he teased her again. No matter how many times he teased her, she felt like an 18-year-old girl being teased for the first time. Pei Yutong, who had fallen silent for the third time, was speechless. Pei Yutong glanced at the two of them and couldn't help but say, although I'm happy to eat your dog food, it doesn't mean that you can slaughter dogs. The three of them went upstairs to Lin Yan's apartment. She had packed most of her belongings the night before, so she checked them again to make sure that she hadn't missed anything. Pei Yucheng stood in the middle of the living room and surveyed the familiar yet unfamiliar room. His eyes darted to the lamp on which Lin Yan had once pasted a note on. The corners of his mouth curled up subtly. The note on the lamp was still stuck on it. Do you still want this lamp, sister-in-law? Pei Yutong said as he tidied up the table, Hey, why is there such a big piece of paper on the lamp? Big sister-in-law, what are you writing? Don't go near Pei. Lin Yan, who was busy tidying up the table, paled when she heard him. She darted forward and shoved the lamp, along with the note, into the bin. I don't want it anymore. Throw them all away. Okay, Pei Yutong continued to tidy up. He picked up a bag and glanced at the contents. Big sister-in-law, why is there a string of garlic inside? What do you want it for? Chapter 373. Lin Yan shoved the food back into the bag. Can't I keep it for myself? Pei Yutong's expression was indescribable. However, based on big sister-in-law's principle, what's right is right, and what's wrong is right. In short, big sister-in-law is never wrong. Pei Yutong immediately said, I see. Garlic is good. Garlic kills bacteria, prevents cancer, and lowers blood fats and cholesterol. Big sister-in-law, you're really healthy. Lin Yan coughed. Ahem. That's right, Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief. Before she could finish her sentence, she heard a loud crash. The 8 trigrams mirror, talismans, peachwood swords, and all sorts of other items fell out of the bag. Lin Yan was speechless, Pei Yutong was speechless, Pei Yucheng was speechless. He remembered that he had thrown these things away previously. Pei Yutong picked them up curiously. 8 trigrams mirror. Talismans. And this sword. Big sister-in-law. What are these for? Pei Yutong hadn't expected to find anything that belonged to a girl in Lin Yan's apartment. Instead, there were so many strange and bizarre things. Lin Yan was exasperated as she stole a glance at Pei Yucheng. As she tidied up, she said solemnly, Ahem. Decorations. Don't you think that's classy? Anyway, you have to be careful when you move them. Don't break them. Pei Yutong blinked in confusion. Decorations? Lin Yan chuckled dryly and nodded. Actually, she thought that it was ridiculous. She was just about to explain herself when Pei Yutong's eyes sparkled as he caressed the items. He exclaimed in an exaggerated tone, Big sister-in-law. You have a unique taste indeed. Even the decorations in your apartment are so unique. You're like a fresh breeze in the entertainment industry. You're indeed my big sister-in-law. Big sister-in-law, where did you buy these things? Send me the link. I want to decorate my apartment. I want to keep up with my big sister-in-law's taste. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched when she heard Pei Yutong's eloquent speech. Her jaw almost dropped. Young man, are you serious? Pei Yutong's eyes were filled with admiration and excitement. He sounded sincere and didn't seem like he was joking. Pei Yutong replied, "Big sister-in-law. Remember to send me the link." Lin Yan was speechless. Lin Yan glanced awkwardly at Pei Yucheng. Pei Yucheng put down the mirror and chuckled softly. "It's special." Lin Yan was at a loss for words. Did the people of the Pei family have such a weird sense of beauty? Was there something wrong with her taste? "Sister-in-law, is there anything else that needs to be moved?" "There are some in the bedroom." All right. Lin Yan poured him a glass of water and said, "Mr. Pei, please wait here for a while. I don't have many things. I'll be done soon." Pei Yucheng replied, "All right." Lin Yan followed him into the bedroom. The moment she stepped in, she saw Pei Yutong staring at her with a complicated expression on his face. Lin Yan was perplexed. What was wrong now? "What's wrong?" asked Lin Yan. Pei Yutong turned his head and glanced at the wall opposite the door. He pointed at it and asked meekly, "Is this also a decoration?" Lin Yan followed Pei Yutong's gaze and saw the huge poster of Pei Nanxiu. Chapter 374. This time, Pei Yutong stared at the poster. He didn't have the guts to say, "Big sister-in-law, you have great taste." She hadn't dared to show the poster that Pei Yutong had given her. She had kept it in her drawer. Lin Yan had bought the poster when she had first fallen into the trap. It had been stuck on her bed all this time, so she had completely forgotten about it. Pei Yutong gazed at Lin Yan in horror. "Big sister-in-law, did you suddenly ask to move to my big brother's place because of second brother? Is it because second brother is staying with big brother?" Lin Yan was even more terrified now. "Young man, this is a dangerous thought. What nonsense is going on in that head of yours? How many times have I told you that second brother and I are just fans and idols? Besides, before I met your big brother, he didn't even know who I was." Lin Yan retorted in exasperation. Pei Yutong was lost in his own thoughts. If they were to fight, should he side with big brother or second brother? Anyway, big sister-in-law, you have to stand firm. Otherwise, both second brother and I will die. Even if you don't care about my life, you have to care about second brother's life. The corners of Lin Yan's mouth twitched. I know. Your big brother's casual smile can mesmerize me. How can I be in the mood to think about other things? Stop imagining things. Hurry up and help me remove the poster. Pei Yutong felt a little more at ease when he heard her. He was tall, so he began to remove the poster in a flurry. Be careful. Don't tear it. Although this poster was printed and only cost 10 yuan, it was the first poster she had ever bought. She had already started to like Pei Nanxiu when they were in school. At the time, she had been like many carefree young girls. She had liked pretty dresses, shiny hair clips, and idol-chasing celebrities. However, later on, to her, Pei Nanxiu was like the time when she had been forced to end her youth. Although it had been a short time, it had been the most beautiful and pure experience she had ever had. I know. I definitely won't let you tear it. Pei Yutong replied as he removed the poster. Lin Yan stood there, staring at him. Suddenly, she heard footsteps behind her. Do you need help? Lin Yan was speechless. Pei Yutong was speechless. Pei Yutong's hands trembled in fright, and he tore a huge hole in the poster. Lin Yan stared at the gaping wound and clutched her chest. She almost vomited blood. But at this time, how could she care about the poster? What to do? Why was her life either turning upside down or on the way to turning upside down? Pei Nanxiu's poster had been one of the reasons Pei Yucheng had lost his temper. Dad, you have to think of a way. Pei Yutong opened his arms and tried to use his body to block the poster. At the same time, Pei Yucheng strode over. At the last moment, Lin Yan spun around and lunged at Pei Yucheng, causing him to stumble backward. She stood on her tiptoes and closed her eyes. She steeled her heart and kissed him on the lips. For a better reading experience, please visit the Love website. Chapter 375. Pei Yutong gasped in amazement as he watched. How could it be done like that? After a moment's hesitation, Pei Yutong seized the opportunity to tear down all the posters. He rolled them up and stuffed them into the box. Then, he slammed the box shut and locked it. They were safe now. Pei Yucheng's eyes darted to the girl from the corner of his eyes. His eyes darkened instantly. He could smell the refreshing scent of the girl's shower gel and her unique fragrance. This was the first time the girl had taken the initiative to approach him, although her reason for doing so did not make him feel good, but it was already offset. Lin Yan wasn't sure if Pei Yucheng had seen the poster or not. After kissing him, she said naturally, "Ahem. I'm sorry. I thought that I would have more time to spend with you in the future, so I was overjoyed." Of course, he knew how good she was at coaxing people. He also knew that she would only coax him when she was guilty. However, Pei Yucheng leaned over and planted a gentle kiss on the girl's forehead. He said hoarsely, "Me too." However, he was still willing to drink poison to quench his thirst. Pei Yutong was bewildered. His brother had come in too suddenly, so he should have seen the poster, but looking at his expression, it seemed like he didn't know anything and wasn't angry. Had he really not seen it, or had big sister-in-law coaxed him too easily? Lin Yan was done packing her things. The three of them moved everything to the car downstairs and drove to Pei Yucheng's villa. Lin Yan received a message from Wang Jingyang. "Dog, I got off work early. I'll help you move." Misty City amid the setting sun replied, "It's fine. I've settled everything." "Dog, so fast? Why didn't you wait for me?" Misty City amid the setting sun replied, "I don't have much stuff." "I didn't need to trouble you." Wang Jingyang had a bad premonition as he stared at Lin Yan's new WeChat ID. At Cloud Manor, when they reached the villa, Pei Nanxiu helped them carry Lin Yan's luggage. "Fortunately, big sister-in-law is here to take care of big brother. I have already told my manager to help me get some work back." Pei Nanxiu grinned. In other words, he wouldn't be staying at home for too long, and the two of them could spend some time together. If he hadn't promised his father that he would stay here to look after big brother, he wouldn't have stayed after Lin Yan had arrived. "Mr. Pei, you're being too polite. It's what I should do." Lin Yan replied hastily as she held his hand. Pei Yutong had reminded her that Pei Nanxiu had been staying here as well. She had to be more careful in case Pei Yucheng misunderstood her. Pei Yucheng glanced at the girl, who was holding his hand carefully. Then, he glanced at his second brother warmly. After entering the room, Lin Yan's back stiffened as she suddenly recalled something. Which room would she be staying in after moving in? Would she be sharing a room with Pei Yucheng? "Mr. Pei. May I know where I will be staying?" Lin Yan raised her hand and asked meekly. Pei Yucheng's mesmerizing eyes darted to the girl gently. A teasing smile appeared in his eyes as he asked slowly, "Which room do you want to stay in?" Chapter 377. Lin Yan could only turn to her last hope, Pei Nanxiu. Pei Nanxiu coughed softly when he saw Lin Yan's pleading gaze. Ahem. I have a dinner tonight. This was the first day that big sister-in-law had moved in, so he had deliberately avoided her so that she could be alone with her big brother. He hadn't expected that he would be able to escape this calamity. Lin Yan replied, "All right then." She hadn't expected that her idol would abandon her. Lin Yan glanced at the kitchen and couldn't help but ask Pei Nanxiu, "Mr. Pei, I have a question. Doesn't Mr. Pei know that his food is disgusting?" She remembered that he had eaten the food that day. Pei Nanxiu was startled. He shook his head and replied, "Big brother. He doesn't know." Why wouldn't he know? He ate it himself. Lin Yan was puzzled. Pei Nanxiu fell silent for a moment before he replied, "Because my brother has never had a sense of taste since he was young." What? Lin Yan was taken aback by his words. She hadn't expected that this would be the reason. "Are you saying that Mr. Pei doesn't have a sense of taste?" Lin Yan was shocked. "That's right. That's why he doesn't even know what salt, vinegar, sourness, sweetness, bitterness, and spiciness are," Pei Nanxiu explained. "Oh, I see. No wonder." Lin Yan muttered to herself. "But why doesn't he have a sense of taste? What caused this? Is there no treatment? I'm not too sure either. Anyway, I've known for a long time that Big Brother has no sense of taste. He seems to have been born with it and he doesn't like people to talk about it. Ahem, my big brother likes to cook. He used to cook for us." Pei Nanxiu said helplessly. Actually, he used to live with Big Brother. However, he couldn't stand Big Brother's cooking. Lin Yan was speechless. Why was she suspecting the real reason why Pei Yutong had left home? Was it because he didn't want to eat his brother's cooking? At that moment, Pei Nanxiu received a call. His manager was probably rushing him. After the call, Pei Nanxiu said, "Miss Lin, I'm leaving now. Please take care of my brother." Sure. Don't worry." After Pei Nanxiu left, Lin Yan stood rooted to the ground, feeling conflicted. Initially, she had thought that she couldn't let Pei Yucheng cook. However, after hearing what he had said, she hesitated. If she were to run over and stop him from cooking, wouldn't it seem like she was despising him? This was too hurtful. But, if she didn't stop him, she would be hurt. Lin Yan's eyes trailed to the tall figure in the kitchen. The man had taken off his coat, and his sleeves were rolled up as he washed the vegetables. Sigh, why is even cooking so pleasing to the eye? Forget it, it's just a meal. What's the big deal? You won't die from eating it. Soon, Pei Yucheng was done cooking. To be honest, Pei Yucheng was rather meticulous when he did things, and his movements were especially beautiful. When he did these things, one couldn't take their eyes off him. Judging from the process of him cooking, it was as though he was completing a piece of art. One could not wait to see the finished product. Of course, that was if Lin Yan hadn't tasted Pei Yucheng's cooking before. For a better reading experience, please visit the website. Chapter 378. Lin Yan sat at the table, feeling as though she was sitting on pins and needles. It was just a meal, but she felt as though she was about to enter the execution ground. Try it. Pei Yucheng picked up a piece of braised pork for her. Okay, thank you. I'll do it myself. Lin Yan glanced at the braised pork. The color and appearance seemed pretty good. Perhaps it wasn't that scary? Perhaps she had been unlucky the last time and had eaten the worst food? Hence, Lin Yan put the braised pork into her mouth. A second later, as she chewed, Lin Yan could clearly feel the taste of death. It was even worse than the last time she had eaten it. She was afraid that she would really die from eating it. So it turned out that she hadn't been unlucky the last time. She had been so lucky that she hadn't known how to cherish it. It must have been really difficult to cook such horrible food, right? Boss, how did you do it? How could you cook such horrible food? Even she found it hard to swallow her food in front of Pei Yucheng's handsome face. This showed how lethal the food was. Pei Yucheng's crazy female fans should come and try his food. That would definitely cause a mass exodus of fans. As his girlfriend, Lin Yan had no choice but to swallow her feelings silently. Lin Yan muttered, "It's delicious. It's delicious." Life was like a drama, and it all depended on acting. It's good that you like it. The food outside isn't healthy. When you start working, I'll prepare lunch for you. You can bring it over, Pei Yucheng said. Lin Yan's chopsticks dropped the quail egg on the plate with a loud thud. This was a bolt out of the blue, even though her heart had been corroded by the braised pork, vegetables, and sweet and sour pork. Lin Yan still smiled and said, "Okay, okay. Thank you, Mr. Pei." Was this the feeling of love? If it wasn't true love, who would be able to do it? When the meal was finally over, Lin Yan felt as though she had survived a calamity. "Thank you for cooking for me. I'll go wash the dishes." Lin Yan volunteered. Pei Yucheng stroked the girl's head. "It's okay. Go and rest. Just eat." Lin Yan was speechless. "Ha ha ha, you're in charge of eating." This sentence should have been such a romantic one. But when it came to her, it became a death warrant. Lin Yan felt that she needed to take a breather. Hence, she returned to her room and secretly rummaged through all the snacks she had brought. He tore open a few milk candies and stuffed them all into his mouth. When the candy melted in her mouth, Lin Yan finally felt as though she had returned to the mortal world. Fortunately, she had brought all the snacks with her. Many celebrities preferred to go on a diet. However, Lin Yan's body consumed more energy than ordinary people, so she didn't have to go on a diet. She ate as usual and had plenty of snacks at home. As long as he didn't eat too much, he wouldn't get fat. Being a racer was also a profession that required strict weight control, so she paid attention to this aspect. After eating some snacks, she finally felt better. Then, she began to organize her things. He looked at the garlic, peachwood sword, talisman paper, and other items in one of the big bags. Lin Yan scanned the elegantly decorated room. No matter how she looked at it, she felt that it would ruin the style. However, she had no choice. It was more important to preserve her integrity. She had been normal for a long time. Perhaps it was because of these items. Lin Yan's expression tightened as she watched the night sky darken. She hurriedly hung up everything. For a better reading experience, please visit the website of self-love. Chapter 379. After that, Lin Yan fished out the poster that Pei Yutong had torn earlier. What an unlucky kid. Did he know how old this poster had been? How could such a huge tear appear on it? Forget it. She would get another limited edition poster from him. Lin Yan was about to find some tape to fix the poster when she heard Pei Yucheng's voice. "Are you done? Do you need help?" Lin Yan almost spat out a mouthful of blood. She was scared out of her wits as she kicked the poster under the bed. She really shouldn't do anything shameful. Damn it! She had been scared to death. She had almost forgotten that this was Pei Yucheng's house. She had to be more careful. Lin Yan composed herself and picked up a bunch of garlic. As she hung it on the handle of the cabinet, she said, "No need. I'm almost done." Lin Yan had no idea that Pei Yucheng's reflexes were much faster than ordinary people. Hence, she thought that she was fast, but Pei Yucheng had actually seen her hiding the things under the bed. However, the man didn't show it on his face. He scanned the things Lin Yan had hung in the room and said gently, "Okay, rest early." Lin Yan nodded furiously. "Okay, Mr. Pei. Rest early too." Pei Yucheng nodded and turned to leave. Lin Yan heaved a sigh of relief when the man finally left. However, Pei Yucheng paused and turned to look at her. "Oh yeah, Miss Lin, what? What's wrong?" Lin Yan thought that Pei Yucheng had something to tell her, so she cast a questioning glance at him. He couldn't have discovered anything, right? Under the gentle light, the man's tall figure seemed to be covered in a layer of faint golden light. His glasses were slightly reflective, masking the emotions in his eyes. The man looked at her against the light and said in a low voice, "If you're afraid of sleeping alone at night, you can look for me." Lin Yan, who was startled, coughed violently. "Ahem. Ahem. Ahem, is this an invitation?" Pei Yucheng chuckled softly at the girl's shocked expression. Then, he turned around and returned to the master bedroom. Lin Yan was left standing in the room in a daze. Her mind was in a mess. Calm down. What was she thinking? Wasn't Pei Yucheng just concerned about her and worried that she wouldn't be able to get used to living in an unfamiliar place? How could it be an invitation? Oh, even if it was an invitation, it wouldn't make up for what she ate tonight. After washing up, Lin Yan finally lay down on the bed. The blanket was soft and fluffy, and the air was filled with the fragrance of trees and flowers coming from outside the window, mixed with the low cries of unknown birds and beasts. The messy thoughts in her mind drifted away as she drifted off to sleep, in the master bedroom next door. The man sat on the bed with a book in his hand. His pajamas were casually draped over his shoulders. The glasses on his face had already been removed, revealing a pair of eyes that were darker than the night. The master bedroom was very close to the guest bedroom, and the windows were open. If they made any loud noises, they would be able to hear it. Sensing that Lin Yan was asleep, the man put down his book and lay down. The night grew darker and darker. Lin Yan was fast asleep. However, just as she was about to fall asleep, she vaguely heard a beeping sound coming from the master bedroom next door. "I can finally see my baby's comments. I feel alive. I miss you guys so much. Come and have fun." You're tuning in to the Xiaofan's Wuxia Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.